Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to the den. I hope you are all doing well. Most of you. Not all of you. I hope everybody is doing well. I'm forgetting something. Okay, here we go. Let me do this real quick. But tonight we're going to talk about, well, if you don't know, I'm your host, Ed Honcho. It is an honor, a privilege, and a pleasure to get to chop it up with each and every one of you. That is a mistake. It's a big mistake. Gotta fix that. That's a huge mistake. Okay, yeah, don't do that. Shit, no. My bad. Damn it, I'm gonna miss my deal. Okay. Tonight we're going to talk about Kamala Harris, and I apologize. I'm a little distracted. Forgot some kind of last minute there, so we can get everything together. You got to be here early to get early pistachios, Isley. But again, I'm your host, Ed Honcho. It is an honor, a privilege, a pleasure for you guys to be able to join with me each and every evening, or every evening that I actually show my ass up, and talk about a variety of topics, a variety of things. I guess I discovered I'm sick. I'm just as perverted as T.I. I was low-key defending T.I., so I'm a pervert now. That's cool. I was probably a pervert before that, so it is what it is. Several things going on, several things happening. And we're going to talk about Kamala Harris and a bill that she recently introduced. And it's going to be about her in the bill, but I kind of want to get deeper into that. And there's an underlying thing I want to discuss with that. But let's see who's joining us this evening. And then let's go from there, man. Make sure you hit that like button. I like it when you hit the like button, so I appreciate it if you will. Cultured, what's the motherfucking deal? Let's see. Only one lie, D the Gamma, what's the motherfucking deal? Rashida Lockbert. What's the motherfucking deal? Sweetberry in the building, what's the motherfucking deal? Let's see, 335 in the building, stenographer in the house, what's the motherfucking deal? Miss Bell, what's the motherfucking deal? And I know I still owe y'all for some old pistachios. I finally found a list, and I will be replacing those as we carry on. Let's see. So, Lisa, what's the motherfucking deal? Oh, see, I mean, it ain't even no thing. All I gotta do is bam, pop that timestamp on. Wow. You wasn't here on time. So I can see who was here on time and who wasn't here on. That's the beauty of it. I was always like, well, I need this fucking timestamp. But now it does come in handy when it comes to early bird pistachios. Hentai Samurai, what's the motherfucking deal? Jason S, what's the motherfucking deal? My boy Dakota in the building. Yolanda Brown, how you doing this evening? What's the motherfucking deal? Danny. Danny, you're grounded. Go to bed. Miss K Grace in the building. How are you? What's the motherfucking deal? Now, if I missed you, only one lie. I ain't dish you. But yeah, so like I say, I will make sure I'll be supplying those. So if y'all see somebody getting a random large amount of pistachios, I owe it to them for early bird. But I want to talk about this Kamala Harris thing, and what I realized what I have to do in the den. Like I was telling you, just kind of looking back and just trying to study things and see what I can do to improve. What can I do to improve? What can I do to improve? It's always about making gradual progression and then turning that into a habit and hopefully making good habits that are beneficial. So what I think I'm going to start doing with more, as you know, maybe the last couple of days with some of these stories, like I want to, I guess, give background and insight on some of the stories before we dive into them. So that way we can all be more of a part of the conversation, because there may be certain things that are talked about that either if you're not in the Facebook group, you may not see it get posted, or you may not, know where certain sources are for certain things. So as we get into things, I'm going to start off the streams by, I guess, either trying to find an article or two or giving a little bit of background more so in some of the things so that we can have, as a group, as a community, a better understanding of the topic for that evening. And I think that we'll see how that goes. I'll do my best to stay on top of that. We'll see how long it lasts. But so So, like I said, I want to get into this Kamala Harris conversation about this bill that she passed. It's not so much about Kamala. She's probably a lunatic. And I mean, but some of y'all are going to rock with her for whatever reasons. We're not even going to get into that this evening. But do I believe she has anybody's best interest in mind outside of her own? Absolutely not. Because she is a person masking as something. What is that? Dinos and rhinos. Democrats in name only, Republicans in name only. She's probably a lunatic in reality. But you have so many people who are feeding into this campaign simply because of one reason and one reason only. And that's the thing that we're going to get into. We're going to have some real interesting conversations next week. Anyway, I don't even know about that picture. Let's get into it and what this is. It's called the Family Friendly Schools Act. And let's start. We'll use some of these. Let me get my ass out the TV real quick. That's part of the problem. Honcho, get your ass out the TV so the people can see. Slide down here like I did that. That shit was smooth. Huh? I'll get in the corner. All right. So, we don't want to talk about Iowa. And don't worry, Kamala Harris is not going to win for whoever it is. Don't waste your vote. Don't waste your time. But Senator Kamala Harris of California introduced a bill intended to make school drop-offs and pickups easier for parents with 9-to-5 jobs. The Family Friendly Schools Act would align the school day with the workday, creating in-school activities that would extend from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Now, this sounds good. It sounds like a handy idea, but I'm just letting write too much. I want to make sure we look at a couple things. I want to jot down a couple of notes while I'm going here too. So 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And she says, my mother, even though I swore, Pops was in the picture, or maybe I was wrong. My mother raised my sister and me while working demanding long. I'm getting so far off, and this has nothing to do with that. You don't hate this fucking just pathetic political like. Who are you catering to when you sit here and say, oh, you try to make it look like you were raised by a single mother? Who are you pandering to when you do these things? Like, this is the stuff that it doesn't. I don't know. Anyway, just I don't know. Some people like it. Some people love it. I can't fucking. It blows my fucking mind. So I know firsthand that for many working parents, you don't know firsthand, you were a kid then, you weren't a working parent. Juggling between school schedules and work schedules is a common cause of stress and financial hardship, but this does not have to be the case. Do you know how many parents she almost put in jail, did not put in jail because they were working parents who were struggling to get their kids to school? She even told stories about it, how, the parents were unable to get their kids to school and things like that were going on. She was going to put them in jail. Where was this then? When she was, want to throw them away. But anyway, my bill provides an innovative solution that will help reduce the burden of child care on working families. It's time we modernize the school schedule to better meet the needs of our students and their families. Anyway. Harris said research shows that schools are shut down for an average of 29 days, plus the summer break. And because most schools end at 3 p.m., 2 hours before the standard workday, many parents are left in a conundrum. Let's kind of skip through this, yada, yada, yada. Says bill proposes more than $1 billion in summer learning programs, gives the school resources to stay open throughout the entire workday, would enable 500 schools to become family-friendly schools that will align the school day with the workday, provide more funding for the 21st century community learning centers, free enrichment activities will be offered. What the fuck does that mean? In this extended school day, bill proposes that schools are only closed on federal holidays, weekends, and emergencies. And if schools are closed for parent-teacher conferences, professional developments, and other reasons, free enrichment activities will be offered. Okay. You got a couple other senators who all sponsored, all Democrats, of course. People want more government intervention in your life. CNN, similar shit, a lot of same stuff. But a couple of counteracting points and some things I thought about. Whoopi Goldberg, co-host on The View, and they had a very interesting exchange on The View, I believe, today, with Donald Trump Jr. on there, could lead to institutionalizing of school children. Not all schools have gymnasiums or spaces for the children to escape classrooms, she said. Colorado scientist and Democrat who's hoping to represent the state of Colorado. Oh, so I guess I read that wrong. So the better option would be for adults to scale back the full-time work week and reduce commute time by enhancing remote work days. How do you remote work from Mickey D's? Matt Walsh says the plan was an attempt by Democrats to replace the family with the state. Said new policies will not require teachers and staff to work longer hours, but ensure that they're compensated fairly and for any additional hours they do choose to work. So who's working the hours that the teachers wouldn't be there, you know? And if you're having to spend more time with students, how do you have time to, how do you have time for yourself as a teacher? I mean, what about them? Anyway, there's a couple other things I want to get to. I'm not going to go over all the articles, but I want to get into some conversation with my thoughts, and then we're going to open up the line, and I want to discuss some things because my views on this are probably, you can tell, probably not so positive. I don't think it's a good idea, and I agree kind of with along the lines what Matt Walsh was talking about, replacing the family with the state. But like I say, most of these things say pretty much the same stuff, so I'm going to get my ass back in the TV. Give me just a second. I like being in the TV. The TV it's fun. Let me just pop up like this. Wow. Oh, that was not my intention. Like that. I'm gonna put my buddy Kamala back here because we love this face so much. I know y'all want to see it, so I'm gonna put Kamala back in the mix because I know y'all appreciate that. So now I apologize. I haven't been reading the chat as much as I've been going over some of these things, so I do not know what I may or may not have missed. But let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Let's have some interesting discussion. What's this one? Hang on, does this? Let's see. I don't know why it does that. It's annoying as shit. Fuck it. What people getting pumped for pistachios and what is going on? Let's see though, right? Let's talk about it. So you want to extend these hours. Now this probably isn't going to impact her in any way, and I'm sure this is mainly for public schools and things of that nature. But what about my question, does this become a mandatory thing? Because the way it sounds like it would be mandatory. So what about those families who don't have this issue? So they automatically get caught up in the sweep too? What if they have stay-at-home moms? What if there's mommy is waiting for her precious little angels to get home so that she can figure out what they've learned today and they can go over schoolwork and they do, there are those. But again, we live in a society where, most women are considered bad. They're bad people if they're stay-at-home moms now. Just because they embrace it, they're considered a negative. There's a lot of women who hate stay-at-home moms, and sad to see that. But again, we'll get into that a little bit more. What about the teachers? That's what I was curious about. So now you're being forced to stay later. You're being forced to have to stay extended hours, but then you said that the teachers won't have to work more hours, but yet you're extending the school day. If you're not having teachers who are qualified, certified to watch the kids, and I'm sure a lot of teachers are not going to just volunteer. They have lives of their own, because I don't know about California, but here's a problem that I have a lot, with especially when you're working 9 to 5, like simple things like getting to the bank to do business. I know you can do a lot more online and stuff like that. Getting to the bank, getting to government offices, post offices. Like little shit. I hate the post office especially because post office is always closed so fucking. You don't ever have time to do shit. But people have business to attend to. The kids may not have to deal with it, but what about that? And then now if you hire more teachers, why would you hire more teachers just to watch extra kids? Like that's what I don't get it. So I would think that they're not even hiring teachers. I think they're hiring, I wouldn't say not volunteers, but just I don't know if you would use maybe people you have on as subs, or I wouldn't say that they're necessarily getting more teachers. You're just getting people to watch kids. I can't think of the word at this time. and I think they're going to hire people who are probably not certified or anything like that. And so that means you, especially like in California, you're going to bring more people in, indoctrinating these kids with certain ideologies and certain beliefs. School already has too much access to your fucking kids. You know what I'm saying? Lorenzo, what's the motherfucking deal? The school already has so much access to your fucking kids, and now you want to give them more? When do you actually get to spend time at home? I think a lot more parents would probably prefer, and again, maybe not at the younger age kids, but look, if you want your kid to stay at school long, get their fucking ass in a goddamn extracurricular activity. Otherwise, I'm sure more parents are probably okay with it. You know what I'm saying? If you're not encouraging your child to do something more productive and they just coming home, but then that's kind of on you. I don't think that's the best idea. Again, like I said, I think they would probably bring in more people who are less suitable than being around your kids. And I think that you already have an issue like we were talking about last night with these teachers who have unfettered access to the children in more ways than they should. Now you're allowing other people to do that. Now you're allowing other people to have access to your kids. You're giving away your time as a parent, whether you're at work or not. If you're at work, you're at work. I mean, it is what it is. You're not going to have that access no matter what. But keeping them at school, I don't think that's beneficial. Again, because we're in this day and age where the school almost sets precedent over the parent. And we know what the government is pushing. We know what the ideology that is being bestowed. Everybody love everybody. Everybody love everything. And especially put the alphabet soup first, or otherwise you're a bigot. And so maybe some parents don't want their kids at school all day for 10 hours eating alphabet soup. Maybe they want them to come home so they can actually be a part of their lives. Some parents, like I say, don't have to be there all day. Some parents have a little bit more freedom. Not everybody is a single mother, And so that's why I get curious, like, is this a mandatory thing? Now, if it's an optional thing, cool, fine, dandy. But then you have an issue with the kids who, say if it is an option, the kids who do it to home and the ones who have to stay. Nobody wants to be at school longer than they have to. Think about the kids. No child wants to be at school longer than they have to. So, again, I get this idea of trying to do something, but when it always comes down to it's more government intervention, the way I see it. But this is what I want to know when I open up the lines here shortly. I want to know how you feel about it. Because I could say, I get it. There are a lot of single moms out there. A lot of them who have to work. Hey, I know my kid's in a safe place. If you consider school safe, right? If you consider school safe. A lot of people don't think school is really a safe place these days. So again, you have that dynamic of the argument. But I think you have to consider, me personally, the first thing that stands out is I'd rather have my kids at home in an environment where they can relax and feel more comfortable, whatever it may be, abiding by the rules that we set forth and set. Even if we're not there, they can establish a little bit of independence. An hour or two on their own is not going to kill them. If I'm not concerned about them being supervised, then yes, you put them in extracurricular activities at school. But forcing them to stay extra, forcing these teachers to stay extra, even though you're saying it's not going to be mandatory, I'm sure that will have an impact on their job one way or another, And if not, like I say, you're bringing in people who are probably going to be less than qualified to be around children. And I don't trust people who, I don't say I don't trust everybody, but there's a lot of people who target opportunities like this. California's a very, very liberal place with a lot of weird shit going on. I think there'll be a lot of people who would jump at the opportunity to do that, right? And so we need to become like Japan and go to school more as long as some of these kids are done about. But see, that's the thing though. She's not even talking about educating the kids more. She's talking about just keeping them at school longer. It's not about extended education. She doesn't want to teach them more. She wants to just have them there so that they can be there. Just, hey, we're going to keep them here an extra 2 hours, extra 3 hours, I think you said. An extra 3 hours because they get out at 3 o'clock. 3 hours of what are you teaching the kid? If you're not adding extra education, if you're not adding extra curriculum, you just want the kids to stay at school an extra 3 hours like a fucking daycare. And I've already expressed my thoughts on this daycare generation and how that whole thing works out. And then I think if you're not schooling them, I think whatever these extra activities are, they're not going to be taken as seriously. People are not going to be as supervisory. You know what I'm saying? And I think that gives kids access to shit that they shouldn't probably be getting into. I think there's a point where you chose to have the kids. You have to figure certain things out on your own. You know what I mean? It's not the government's job. The government's job is to provide the education, which I don't really think is their job, but it is what it is. It's their job. They provide the education, the free education. Daycare, after school services, I think that there should be extracurricular activities provided at school. I do believe in that. But if your child's not participating in any of that stuff, if you're not encouraging your child to participate in it, why keep them there? Why keep them there? What is the extra 3 hours going to do? Excuse me, more socialization time. If they're getting bullied, then more time for them to get bullied. Like, what is it? What is the real benefit of them staying there? And that's my issue. That's my question. So again, some of y'all may completely disagree, and that is welcome, because like I say, some of you may have a different perspective. Some of you have had kids and had to work and had to deal with these things, so your vision may be different, and you say, hey, you know what, that would have been a much more convenient opportunity for me. So some people may benefit from this idea, you know what I mean? And that's fine. But again, like I said, I'm just ultimately trying to figure out, if you're saying you don't want to increase the education, maybe, again, if you were giving some sort of tutoring, free tutoring for helping kids who are struggling, cool, maybe. But you're just talking about extra activities. Like, I don't know. Now, I wish now a lot, but that would be brilliant. That would only make too much sense, though. But then now you start talking about making sense, that's not right. Like, I believe firmly that schools should offer, you should have a trade when you get out of high school. Not everybody's going to go to college. This idea that they're trying to funnel kids into college, it's like, stop the nonsense. Some kids are going to go to college. Some kids are going to go to jail. Some kids are just going to go out into the world. They're going to free roam like cattle for a couple of years and hopefully figure it out. Some aren't. But I think if you made it mandatory for people to have a trade, you know what I'm saying? Then you're talking about something. Then you're talking about, okay, now I think not only are you helping out these people, you're helping out the economy as a whole. You're giving options. You're letting people go out into the world and make a living wage instead of trying to tell people, hey, well, we just need to up the minimum wage. We need to. Need to give these kids a fucking trade when they leave school so they can go out and make money and make good money, work good jobs, start their own businesses. And you don't have to go directly to McDonald's. Let them leave school with a skill, with a talent, instead of, like I said, going out and saying, hey, well, we need to raise the minimum wage. We need to, because then that impacts everybody else. We're going to get started here in just a second, Yolanda. Let me make sure I got my list here and get out these pistachios. And let's get ready, because I want to know how y'all feel. But while I get this going, I want everybody to know the Guardian. That's because Sweet Berry will steal. And if you are new, clutch them extra tight, because she is targeting you. So I need to get a new fucking Bluetooth. That's what I definitely need to do. Oh, there was a slight text exchange last night. I'm not gonna say who, but me and you are in the same boat sometimes with some of those situations, and I wonder. I'm just gonna leave it at that, because sometimes there are. Brother is a pervert. Brother is probably like one of the type of people who will be more than happy to go sign up to work with your children as they stay extended hours in California. So there's that. It's going to be more people like Brother Lee working with the kids, and that's not what we want. Because sometimes certain things are just so exceptional. Sometimes certain things are just so incredible, and I'm speaking to the person who sent me that late night text message. Sometimes those things are just so incredible and exceptional, it can be unfathomable, if you will. So I'll leave it like that. Let's get this party started, right? Let's get this party started quickly. All right, I ain't even got the number up, but you know who it is. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we have calling into the den this evening?
No, it's Belle. You know I had to bring in first.
Ms. Bell, how you doing this evening? What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
I vote no.
Okay. Okay.
And
What?
I vote no for several reasons. One, I understand the premise behind it, but it's so broad stroke. There's no actual outline of any kind of program. It's just, oh, let's open the school up for 4 more hours. When does she even realize that the teachers are mandated to do volunteer time for nighttime activities?
No, where?
During the school year, yes. If you are a teacher, you, at least in my state, they have to put in volunteer hours at different functions in order to keep up their teaching certificates. So by adding 4 extra hours to them, that's not, I mean, whether it's paid or not, plus possibly doing like a basketball game or a football game or whatever extracurricular activity they had to do, that's not cool.
No.
And it's going to raise the taxes across the board. And don't get me wrong, there should be money going to teachers. They deserve it. I don't have any problem with individual, merit scholars and teachers. What I have a problem with is just throwing money and not actually having a solution.
Exactly.
Just saying, oh, well, here, do what you need to do, make your program your own. Well, if you have no blueprint, it's going to create chaos. Second of all, I actually did graduate from a trade school, and I think that there should be more of them throughout the country rather than less of them. Ours 20 plus, 30 plus years ago was a satellite program. I mean, it had been started like in the 1970s, and the original building that we got was slated for a major prison system. So everything was bare bones, and yeah, I saw more cement in that school than I can care to tell you. But there were multiple trades. We had 14 different communities. My graduating class was like 386 kids. The freshman incoming was 1,400. And by the time you graduated, you had a 3-year certificate and some certifications under your belt. Whether you chose to go to college or not was above and beyond. But most of the electrician, carpenter, masonry, they all came out as journeymen or their secondary path part of their career. We had electronics and electricians, so, I mean, it was anything from the floor up.
So would you say that coming out with a trade, but not even just financially and career wise, but wouldn't you think that instills more confidence in kids knowing that you have a trade, that you have something to kind of fall back on, as opposed to just being released out into the world kind of blind?
Well, okay, let me put it this way. I would say probably 60% of the people that I graduate, we still use our trades today. So I think that for me, mine was a backup plan. My intention actually was to go to college originally. And shit hit the fan, and I knew I needed a backup plan, so I went to trade school. Sometimes life is not a situation where, like you said, every single kid is going to go to college. But to be able to give them instruction, to be able to know a little bit more than the next person coming into a job can give them some job security. I mean, we had some really good mechanics that came out of our school. We had some great masons, So to say that it wasn't effective, I mean, right now that particular school is like high honors. You actually have to have a letter of recommendation to get in there. And there's a lot of kids going directly to college from that school. Back then, it was, the best way to explain it back then is, like, juvenile alternative school for, you hadn't quite been to jail, but you hadn't quite done good things. So they said, well, we'll put you with the dummy class and you learn a little skill. But you know what? Most of those people had turned out all right. They just had some bad luck, and a little bit of giving them something out in the world gave them that confidence to be able to do something. You know, and there's plenty of them that actually own businesses in their fields. So, and with the fact that they require foreign language, they can all go straight to college. Anyway, that being said, as far as I am completely pro vocational education, I don't think it substitutes for a college degree, and I think that people still should be allowed to go for a college degree. But I find that specializing, even culinary arts programs, I mean, those have been in schools since we were 7th, 8th grade. You know, how many of you out there had shop at your high school or your junior high school?
Man, shop was cool. I saw somebody get hit in the face with a clock they just made. It was terrible, but it was kind of funny.
Well, I mean, you know, I learned to hold my own, but, you know, that's the thing, is that that's where life skills come in, is you're in a life working environment. And it's funny on one hand because it's like kids do stupid shit, but then when you get up in the real grown-up world, some of that doesn't really change. People still do stupid shit.
Yeah.
As far as Camilla goes, I think that her heart's in the right place, but I think she's absent-minded about the plan that she's trying to lay out. It's not completely thought out, and it's not completely well diverse on how it's going to, how it would be implemented. It's almost like she's saying, yep, this is what we want to do, and throwing it a blank canvas. You can't do that. Now, the other thing you said is who's going to watch the kids? If the teachers have already put their time in, you're going to call substitutes in? That's a lot of money. I mean, so we're basically babysitting kids that parents should be taking care of? Now, I was privileged and blessed to be able to be a stay-at-home parent. However, would I like this particular idea? Would it make it easy as a stay-at-home parent to have those extra hours? Absolutely. But it doesn't change the fact that I still have a job to do in raising my kids. And if I'm going to have them there, I would rather have them in sports or have them in a chess club or have them being knowledgeable while they're in school.
Yeah.
You know, don't let them sit there and rot like fruit. But that's not the part of the plan that she's even talked about, is it?
No, not at all. Like I said, it's just a lot of vague alternative activities. And again, like I say, just, you know, to me, it makes more sense to, if you're not educating them, then what is the purpose of them really being there? How are they really benefiting by being in school, you know, an extra 3-4 hours a day for an entire school year? I mean, if they're not growing as people, if they're not learning as people, I mean, and that's the thing.
The other question, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but the other question is, where are they going to house them? You can't put them in the gymnasium as a daycare because you've got the after-school sports in there.
Yeah. And then I think sitting in a classroom for an extra 3 or 4 hours is going to be torture. It's like detention, you know. And then what about the kids who get detention? What are you going to do with them? I mean, you got to say another extra. It's terrible. It's a terrible idea.
So actually, if anything, you're extending their punishment by keeping them there that long, for one thing. I mean, you got kids that got ADD, can't sit still for 45 minutes, never mind 4 frickin' hours. You know, you've got... I find it to be a hellacious idea. Oh, by the way, I need to kind of sidebar this for a minute. Yeah, Whoopi did rip Junior a new ass today on The View.
I didn't like.
It was funny to watch.
Like I said, I didn't see the whole thing. I've seen multiple perspectives. Some people say it went one way. I think you say it went the other. I think I was thinking about making that conference, but I didn't have time to actually, like I say, watch the entire exchange like I wanted to. So I went with this one instead. But we may talk about that very soon.
Okay, and the other thing that might be a good topic, and I'm throwing this out, and I don't know if you saw it, they were talking about Joy had blackface on one of her Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I saw the picture.
Mm-hmm.
She did not, I mean, it was her regular face. She was dressed as an African, but she didn't have blackface on.
Mm-hmm.
And I do know the difference. And for Junior to bring that up, I think it was pretty damn stupid. But even Whoopi defended her.
Yeah, I think that's the part I did see where she said that wasn't blackface, and she was saying that I'm black, so I know that I would know what blackface is. So I did.
Yep.
That's a little close. I saw maybe like a minute and a half, maybe a 2-minute clip of it. But okay, so let me jump that down. But yeah, definitely, I'm gonna look into it. Like I said, hopefully I'm trying to watch it in the morning tomorrow and get some more insight on it. And but you know, I like I said, I'm not a fan either way or against. But I give people credit for going into hostile territory, and I think that he knew that the View was not going to be very friendly to him. So that's why I say I'm kind of interested in seeing what happened and how the whole exchange took place. So we got that. Okay, I jot that down right there. Okay, cool. I got that on my list of future topics.
Now, I will say this, and I'm going to let it go. Did anybody know, well, anybody that watched the program, did they notice that Junior's girlfriend looked just like Melania?
You know, now that I did see. Because at first, I like I said, I was like, what, is that? No, I'm like, okay, that's a little weird, but you know, I didn't, like I said, I didn't have enough time to get all the way into it, but I was like, that looks, I don't think that is, because she doesn't seem to be, you know, that the personalities don't seem to match, but yeah, so that's very interesting.
She's actually some sort of TV something or other. I didn't really get the whole thing, but I was like, dang, you know, but I just didn't know if anybody else noticed that either.
Yeah, that's weird.
But yeah, that's kind of about it. I mean, I support teachers, but the fact is that it's too much money and the plan's not laid out properly. Mm-hmm. It's not a thought out, well developed plan.
Okay. Well, great.
What are you doing?
I'm taking. I'm doing all kind of stuff. Working with papers. I'm trying to take notes. I'm trying to get a bit more active. I haven't been on my, you know, when I used to do the den, I used to be always on the notes, taking lots of notes during the calls and things like that. I haven't been on my note game as much since I moved, but I'm trying to get back on that. So just taking notes, key points, highlighting certain things you mentioned, so that I can make reference to them a little bit later in the stream.
Well, hopefully we'll be busy night on the calls, and so I'm sure I've been up on my 10 minutes. So I'll let y'all go and have a great night, and hopefully we'll hear some really good conversation tonight.
Yes, I'm hoping so. I appreciate you calling in, getting the party started, Miss Bell. The bell has rung. Classes in session for another 3 or 4 more hours, according to Kamala.
All right, good night.
All right, good night. All right. Let's get that line fired up. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we have calling into the den this evening? Hello.
Hello?
Yes. Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
Oh, this is Yolanda.
How are you doing this evening, Yolanda? What is on your mind? How do you feel about this proposed bill from Kamala Harris?
Well, first of all, we need to be positive. And I'll just say this. You did have a good idea about them teaching kids a trade in high school. I think that's a very good idea. I think that, you know, that should be done. Mm-hmm. But I would just say don't knock what her idea is, because, I mean, I'm sure it's not going to be mandatory. I don't see how they would be able to mandatory teachers to stay after school with kids. But you have to look at it like from a parent perspective that maybe is a single mother. Maybe she's working late. Maybe the kid will be at school. This is less time for the kid to be out on the street to get in trouble. So there are some positive things, you know, that could come out of this situation. I mean, if we want to be critical of something, I think we should be critical of this Trump administration, what they're doing with Betsy DeVos. What they really want to do is put everybody in charter schools, give you a voucher. You don't like the government, Honcho. I hear you talk about the government all the time. But they want to get rid of the government. They want to take the school from the government. They want to give everybody vouchers to go to these charter schools. Then once they give you this voucher to go to this charter school, it's not going to be enough. The voucher won't cover the full school. So then you'll have to come out of your pocket to pay the difference. Once a parent can't come out of their pocket to pay the difference, your child is no longer in school. It won't be the government that has your children in school, so it won't be against the law. So then our kids will be uneducated. That's where they're really going with this charter school thing. So don't just knock down what the black woman is saying. I just noticed on social media and on TV, everywhere, seems like everybody is against the black woman. I mean, everybody. Nobody speaks up for the black, even our own black men. They don't speak up for black women. And I just don't understand why everybody want to tear the black woman down.
Wait, well, okay. First. You view Kamala as a black woman because she said she was Indian. She said she was everything else. Her people then were in the slave trade, and then now when she comes to run for president, now she's promoting herself on the black woman card. Trust me. First and foremost, look, I love the black woman. I talk about it all the time that my preference is black women. We talk about all these things, so it's not about me tearing it down. I just have certain standards and certain protocols in which I rock with certain people and which ones I don't. I'm not rooting for someone just because they're black, because so many people use that, hey, well, I'm black, you should choose me to play you. You know what I mean? And so that's why I see her as a fraudulent individual, and she's just using that to leverage herself in this current election season. I don't really see her being genuine. I don't think she identifies as a black person in her own privacy. Now it's all cool and dandy when she's dancing around and doing all these things she's never done before. Now she's playing the black card because it benefits her, because people will rally behind that. But I don't think she's genuine about it.
Well, see, the key word is you said you don't think, but you don't know.
I see it.
You don't know.
I like to value myself as a person who I feel like I have an ability to recognize certain things in people, and it hasn't failed me much in my life. She is not genuine and authentic in what she does. She has a thin veil.
To you, she's not. To you, she's not. To you, she's not. But just because you say that's so, it doesn't mean it's so. Because I look at it like this. I heard you talk about also that she's put parents in jail. Let me tell you what I feel about that. If you are a parent and you have minor children and you're not making those kids go to school, somebody needs to put you in jail. That's what's wrong with our youth today. Our parents aren't making us go to school. We're not making these kids get an education. I was in a hairdresser about a year ago, and I was talking to these young women. I was telling them about, make sure they were going to go and vote, and, just dropping some knowledge on them. And I was telling them how Trump wants to get rid of public school because they just want to have these voucher programs with the charter schools. You know what this young girl said to me? She said, "That's good. I want to homeschool my kid." And then I'm thinking to myself, are you serious? So I said to her, so you're going to homeschool your kid, and who's going to hire your kid? Because nobody's going to recognize that you homeschool your kid. We have to think in this society that we live in today. And this society is a bit different since Trump has taken over office.
What has changed in your opinion?
I'm sorry?
Since Trump has taken over, what has changed in your opinion?
This is what, for one thing, I mean, race relations has never been as bad recently as they are now. I mean, I feel like when I go out somewhere or whatever, I'm kind of concerned of, someone maybe trying to attack me, because everybody seems like they just have hate in their heart. And I won't say everybody, but a lot of people tend to have hate. Like you see what happened in Texas. This person just comes from another state and goes to Walmart and shoot up all these people. I mean, are you trying to tell me you feel safer now than versus 10 years ago?
I mean, I don't feel any different, honestly. Because, I mean, these are things these traumas, these tragedies are things that have been happening, throughout history. I think that's more of an American thing than just under this president. Like I said, I'm not a super Trump fan. I'm not a Trump hater. To me, I'm neutrally the way I could care less. But I think a lot of these allegations, I think a lot of this stuff that we're putting simply on Trump, I think these are just things that have been brooding up, for quite some time. People are who they are.
Well, I agree with that. But they have tracked this, and and hate crimes are on the rise. White supremacy is on the rise. So, I mean, we have to acknowledge that. We have to acknowledge that is true. And just with Kamala Harris, I just don't think we should be just tearing people down. We need to just give her a chance. I mean, you don't like her policies. Tell me, who policies do you like? I mean, is there anyone that you see that you support right now that's a candidate? And you know what? If you feel this way, that's fine. You have your opinion and you state your opinion. I like the fact that you have a show and you want to, hear other people's opinion about it. But let's just not totally tear her down, because someone that may be open to her may listen to you and then be like, well, I'm not even going to give her a chance, And I just think we shouldn't do that. We need, it's especially when it comes down to our people. We need to give our people a chance. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but you could be wrong.
But I could also be right. But I could also
you
be
could.
right.
You could be right. You could be right. You could be. I could be right, and you could be wrong. But I do think there's some good that can come out of an after-school program. I mean, I remember listening on CNN. Meek Mill was on CNN, and he was telling this guy on television, like, his mom had to work. She was always at work. As a little boy, he came home and he was at home by himself. And after a while staying at home by himself, he got tired of being in the house. So what did he do? He went outside, he got in them streets, and he got in trouble. So what's so wrong with them having 3 hours after school for kids to stay there, for people that need it? I mean, like I said, I'm almost positive it wouldn't be something that's mandatory, but it might be something that could help some kids, to help some parents that maybe they don't have a support system. So let's just not knock it. As some kids come home, they don't have anything to eat. Okay, they there 3 hours, they're going to get some food to eat. You don't always look for the negative. Try to look for the positive, because it's a lot of candidates out there, and none of them is going to be perfect. None of them is going to be perfect. But what we have to do, we have to look at their policies. We have to look at what they've done in the past. We have to listen to what they say, and then we have to make an educated decision on who we feel like is going to be the better candidate. For years and years and years and decades, we voted for white people, and I'm not racist, but we voted for white candidates or whatever that sold us hopes and dreams and never came through with them. Okay, well, let's give Camilla, let's give her a chance.
I have a question though, and like I say, these candidates who sold us the hopes and dreams, would you say that they've been primarily of a particular party?
Okay, you broke up. I didn't hear the last part of what you said.
I said the candidates who specifically sold black people hopes and dreams, would you say they've been primarily of a particular party?
Yeah, they've been in the Democratic Party.
So my thing is, again, and like I said, I like to value, I consider myself an independent. I just look at things, and my long-term issue has been, I think that why I do lean into more conservative values than I do democratic values is it's a multitude of things. Like, one, again, the heavy pushing of the LGBT agenda. Like I said, I have nothing against those people, but the way that it's being pushed, the way that it's being especially pushed in our community, and we can talk about fatherless homes and all these other things. I think that when you're emasculating the men and encouraging a lot of these other behaviors, I think that has a problem, but that's not what we're talking about today. I think that some of the behaviors that are encouraged by the Democratic Party are a problem. But my thing is, if this party has been promising you the same thing for 50, 60 years, however long it's been, and have failed to deliver, they say we can always use that reference where the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So my thing is why I don't really have a lot of favor with too many of the current Democratic candidates that are being pushed out right now is because they're all pushing kind of far edge agendas to appease certain groups. I don't think any of the things that they're really pushing has the black community in mind necessarily. Maybe if the black community may benefit a little bit off of it, fine, but I don't think that they really have our concerns in mind, because our vote is already expected. Our vote is already basically accounted for, so they're not worried about it. And I think that we as people have to change our whole behavior and the way we approach things. And I'm not saying everybody needs to vote Republican, but if you suggest this to a black person, they almost get offended. The first thing that comes out is racism without ever looking, like you said, we should look at policies instead of thinking negative. I think we should allow the other side that same opportunity. But as a community, as a whole, as a group, we don't do that. I mean, it's automatically blocked off. We'll maybe entertain some type of independent candidate, possibly before we would ever consider, saying, well, what are they saying over here on this side? Now, me personally, like I said, I like to study a lot of wealthy blacks, and because I don't believe in the narrative that, we all have to struggle, we all have to, we need this and we need the government handouts, we need the welfare and all these other things. Now, that should be a stepping stone for those who are struggling. That is fine. But when I look at a lot of the wealthier blacks who are not in entertainment, who are not doing music, movies, and being kind of under the strings of a certain community, a lot of these are more conservative individuals. And I'm like, well, if it worked for them, if they found success, they seem not to have an issue with it. What is it that I'm seeing, or what is that most of us are seeing that is causing the problem? And so that's kind of why I can admit that I do have a bias as far as, not because she's a black woman, but because she is running under the Democratic ticket. So I have no shame in admitting that, because I don't think that they have our best interests in mind. So it has nothing to do with her being a black woman. Like I say, if it comes down to it, if you give me two services, and you can feel how you want to feel about it, it could be a white service or a black service, I'm going to give that black service a shot, because I feel like other people wouldn't. If they are up to par, then they will get business from me. But if not, then hey, I have no problems going to the white business or whatever it is. I'm a pro-black individual, but I'm not with the nonsense black stuff, like, and some of this stuff that we call the culture, the this is our community. I'm not with all this. I'm not what you would call woke or any of those things. I think I'd like to be considered more sensible than any of that. And just some of the things that are going on doesn't make sense. Now, I can agree with you that there are single mothers that are struggling if it's not mandatory. But to me, I think the wording says mandatory, because it could, if she would have said something like, well, up to 3 hours, so saying that this is the possibility, if they need more time, then you have up to 3 hours to stay after school. But this is saying, hey, we're extending this from 8 to 6. So to me, that sounds more mandatory than a possibility. Yes, that there are kids who need nutrients, who need nourishment, who are going home and not having good meals when they get home. I'm all with that. I'm all for that. But to me, it takes away from that opportunity to have that family time. I think if you're lumping all these kids into one group and saying everybody has to stay here, and with a lot of the agendas that the school is pushing currently, because the government is pushing things, again, like I say, certain parties are leaning, especially in California, I would hate to have my child or children being forced to stay under that without me, having a little bit more input, a little bit more say so. And then, like the last caller, Ms. Bell said, it's just kind of like she's thrown something out there. What are these after school activities? What are these plans? I would need more specifics for me to say, okay, I'm all in on that. I don't think the specifics are there, and that's my problem.
Okay, and I agree with some of you said, and if it's mandatory, then I would be against it as well. Let's be clear on that. But I don't believe that it will be mandatory. But I will say this. I don't think that you should be, and I don't want anyone to be embarrassed to say that they are conservative. I totally understand what you're saying. I hear the same thing all the time. But what I will say is this, is that I realize you have reservations about the Democratic Party, because I will say it again. I feel like they have made so many promises to the black community and have not fulfilled them. Okay, but it is up to us as a people to make them accountable for promises they have made that they have not fulfilled to us. So we have to take our vote and we have to hold it and make it precious to us. But I tell you this, the Republican Party is not saying anything to me as a black person to persuade me to even think of voting for them. They never even speak to us. They don't even think enough of us to even try and appeal to us. So that's a big problem for me right there. If I'm not worthy of you to even try to come and court my vote, then why would I even consider voting for you?
But so you don't feel like
so
you don't feel like when Donald Trump invited all of those black, well, I guess you would say, you call them blacks, not black, is it they call it blacks, whatever it is. But he invited a large group of black individuals to the White House. He's had several meetings with, a lot of black supporters, I guess you would say, because again, it's the other side just don't even want to hear it.
HBCUs.
He's given more money to HBCUs than Obama had. You can talk about when he's tried to have meetings with the Congressional Black Caucus and they've rejected his encounters, I think it's been more black people rejecting Trump. And I can say historically the Republicans, no, they haven't, but I don't have an issue with that because I'd rather you not give a shit than lie to me and say, hey, I'm gonna do this for you, I'm gonna do this for you, you're gonna be better off, I'm gonna do this for you, get my vote, and then I don't hear from you for the next 4 to 8 years, and then you recycle the same bullshit. Well, here, take my vote again, and we're still stuck in the same situation, and the same problems are occurring. Even when you put leaders who look like us in charge of the situation, you see a lot of them end up catching cases almost, or that, like I say, you find corruption or whatever else it may be. And I'm not saying that we're the only ones. It happens across politics as a whole, but
exactly, and more likely there are white people than black people. Come on now, if we do the stats on that, more likely there are white people that are getting trouble that hold office than black people.
Who was it? I think in Baltimore they have a streak going on of black mayors who have all been involved in some sort of last 3 or 4 of them. And so what I'm saying, it's politics as a whole. It's a political mentality. But what I'm saying is that I would rather.
You know what?
Yeah.
It's corruptible. It's the institution itself. It allows for people to be corrupt. You know, and some people are just corrupt individuals. But just because a person is corrupt or they went down the wrong path, well, it don't mean everybody is like that. And I hear what you're saying by what you say, that the Republican Party, you rather for a person that's not trying to court you at all. Well, maybe that's how you see it, but that's not how I see it. I'm not going to vote for anybody that don't even think enough of me to consider my vote. And as for Trump, he hasn't given more money to HBCUs. Let me tell you what he does. What he does, these are all photo ops. This man said to himself, this is how he appealed to black people. What do you have to lose? That's what he said. That was his appeal to us. What do you have to lose? I mean, I don't know about you, but that's not an appeal to me. And it's okay. It's okay to like some Republican policies, but not be a Republican. Me personally, one thing that I kind of part ways with the Democratic Party with is immigration, because I think that I think Republican or Democrat is not trying to do anything on immigration. Neither one of them is trying to do anything on immigration. And I don't believe that just because a person's been here 10 years, they should automatically be granted citizenship. And I think most Democrats believe that, but I don't. But that doesn't make me a Republican. I'm still a Democrat. Anything that you do, you're not going to like it 100%. We've only had one black person to be president. One. And I'll tell you myself, I don't agree with everything that Barack Obama did. I don't think he did enough for black people. I really don't. But I'm still a Democrat. But just because you have one president that was a black, he was better than this president. He was better than a lot of other presidents. So if I look back at the track record, I'm thinking to myself, okay, if I voted for all these different white candidates and they didn't really do all that much for me, maybe a little bit. You know, things were better under Bill Clinton. I will have to say that. But why can't I give a black person? You know, Barack Obama, he made black people look good. So maybe
you think so?
I mean, Kamala Harris in there.
So my thing with,
I'm not closed off to her.
And I can, like
I'm not gonna close myself out to her.
Yeah, like I say, you're entitled to feel how you want to. My thing with Barack, like I said, you know, he didn't have. I mean, people weren't really familiar because he didn't have really much of a political background once he got in there, and so it was interesting, you know, his rise to fame so quickly. But I don't think, you know, you said he didn't do much. My problem with like Barack, and like I say, this is why I say I have an issue with the Democratic Party. When you do get the black guy in there, he did more for the gays and the LGBT community than he did for black people, in my opinion.
Actually, I agree. I totally agree with you. But it's not just him. If you look at it, most black politicians, once they get in office, it's almost like this thing. It's like something in black people's head. It's like, oh, I can't appear to be doing a lot for my people. It's because I won't get reelected, or people will criticize me. And I really believe that's what their problem is. But the thing about it is, other races don't think like that.
So
They don't think like that.
So then, whose issue is that? I mean, if that is the case, like who do you hold accountable for that?
I hold the person that's doing that, and it goes back to me what I call a slave mentality. That's what I call it. What else could it be? A slave mentality. I mean, because every other race, if right now, if you were to put a Hispanic in a position right now, I can guarantee you, slowly but surely, they're gonna start getting rid of other people and bringing in their own. But we don't do that. My cousin, she's a pharmacist. And she even mentioned to me, she says every time she sees they bring a new manager in, because she goes all over Houston and she works at different pharmacies or whatever, because she's a manager. But whenever she hires, like if she hires an Asian person, she says she goes back in like 5 or 6 months, a bunch of Asians there. She hired an Indian person as a manager.
Absolutely, but this is about I'm glad you brought that up, and because usually we got the 10-minute rule, but I wanted to speak to you because I wanted to really hear what you said. But I got two things I want to ask you real quick. And one of those things is, why don't you ever hear? And I'm glad you brought up the Asians. Why don't you ever hear the Asians or even Middle Easterners complaining about lack of representation, or that they're not getting courted? Because you don't ever see an Asian town hall. You don't ever see these candidates going out and courting to the Asian population, but the Asians don't seem to have any problem, and the Asians are succeeding way beyond. Is it really policy?
Yeah, they are.
So I mean, so why do you feel that, why can't we as black people do the same thing?
Okay, again, one thing is because black people are the most oppressed people that they are. First of all, I don't know what it is about us, but it just seems like everybody wants us to fail. No one wants to help a black person. When they see us progress, then it's like everybody get together to try to knock us down. Let me give you an example. You remember when it was about maybe 2-3 years ago, all these companies, Netflix and just movie companies, started giving all these black people deals to create content on TV. There's a lot of black shows on TV. When that happened, you know what happened? White people started saying, okay, black people are taking our jobs. Hispanic people started saying, well, what about us? And we're the most oppressed people they are. But as soon as we start to get ahead, it's like somebody's trying to put their foot on our neck. And that's why Trump is in office right now. Black people are progressing. They really are progressing. Well, they were progressing before Trump came into office. And white people started to see it. And they was like, you know what? If we give them these little rights that they have now, we back up off of them, they're going to really progress. So we need to come on harder on them and put our foot back on their neck, because otherwise they're going to take over. And that's what they're doing. They're about to be outnumbered. 90% of this country is other than white. Why do you think they're closing all these abortion clinics down and getting rid of Planned Parenthood? Do you know 60% of the abortions are by white women? 60% are by white women. So you know why they want to get rid of these abortions? Because they need to build their numbers back up. They want to make these white women keep having all these babies so they won't be outnumbered. But it's not going to help them. And they don't realize that.
Well, I got a question. So you don't think that there's a significant number of the black population that are also benefiting from, or I won't even say benefit, let me use a better word, that are utilizing the services of these abortion clinics?
Oh, of course. Black women, Hispanic women, everybody uses them. But 60% of abortions are carried out by white women. And that's why the Republican Party is attacking it. That's exactly why they're attacking it. You have to be able to. Let me tell you something about me. You say you like to read. I like to read. I like to watch like Discovery Channel. I watch Fox News. I watch CNN. I watch MSNBC. I want to hear what they're saying on Fox News because I need to know. That's how I'm able to decipher what they're doing. That's how I knew when they started coming up with, I was like, okay, Why are they trying to push this charter school? Why do they want to get rid of public schools so bad? And I just watched Fox News, and then it slowly just came together to me. They want to get rid of public schools, because if they get rid of public schools, then they have this charter school. That voucher is not going to cover your whole charter school. And then when your kid, you can't pay for it, your kid is not be in school, and it won't be against the law. And that's another way for them to enslave us. It's not going to be like the old slavery. It's going to be a new slavery. So I'm telling you and your listeners out there, I mean, y'all, we really have to pay attention. I hear you, you lean conservative or whatever, but they speak in code too, sweetie. And you have to learn how to recognize the code that they're speaking in, because it's not beneficial for us. It's not. So no, I would never be a Republican. I could never be a Republican, because the Republican Party is not doing anything to help me. They're not even trying to lie to me to tell me they're going to do something to help me. So why would I consider myself a Republican or even think about voting Republican? I just couldn't do it. I would be an independent first before I do that. And I know the Democratic Party is not perfect. I recognize that. Not perfect. But you know who fault that is? That's our fault.
And so with that being our fault, okay, with that being our fault, and I'm gonna wrap it up here shortly because we got some other folks on hold. But I'm enjoying the call. Okay. I wish we could talk for much longer. We gonna have to continue this conversation definitely very soon. But my thing is this, right? So you said that is our fault that we're not holding them accountable. You mentioned about the cousin, I believe you said, that's a pharmacist that goes to these places, getting them started, and then the people bring their own people in. Well, why aren't black people doing the same thing? Because that is my issue. If it's just easy for an Asian person to say, well, hey, okay, well, look, let me bring another Asian person in. Is that really have to do with politics? Does that really have to do with anything aside from culture? Why are we not putting each other on? I mean, I've talked many a time when I talked about, when I was in the construction field, when I was, contracting, that Hispanics bring a lot of them on. If you're in construction, a lot of these new jobs, you're doing turnarounds and things like that, they allow you to rec in your crew or whatever, so you recommend, who you would like to bring, and they look out for each other. But I might have been many times the only black person on site, but there would be other people, black people in position. Why aren't we looking out for each other the same? What does that have to do with the government, people oppressing us, putting people in front of, or are we doing more oppression of ourselves than anything else?
That's what I said. I didn't say it has to do anything with the government. It has nothing to do with the government. It has everything to do with us. It's that slave mentality. It's the slave mentality. Let me tell you something. Black people have been oppressed for so long that it is embedded in our DNA, a lot of us, that we want to be the only one. That's what it is. We don't want to see each other progress. We want to be that special one. And I will never understand that. It doesn't make sense. And if black people just thought about it, if we did what these other races do, oh my God, we would just be, we would really take over, seriously. Why do you think they're always trying to divide us? I mean, you have to think about it. They pay us. Let me tell you, I don't know any other race of people that white people will pay to pay another black person to attack their own people. They do that all the time.
But who's doing that though? Because and again, like I say, man, we can, Miss Yolanda, we gonna have to schedule time that we can just sit down and just have us a nice, because there's so much to unravel. There's so much, like I said, it's something that I want to touch on, and I'm really enjoying the conversation. I would love to extend it, but like I say, it's a couple of folks on hold, and I want to get to them. But
no problem.
Please, if you have a chance, I don't know if you have any other social medias or anything like that, reach out, because I would like to continue this conversation at a time when it's more convenient with you. Maybe let the den folk participate or whatever it may be. Please reach out to me, because I would love to continue this conversation. I think I'd like to continue this exchange in the near future if possible.
Your email is down there. I'll email you.
Okay, thank you, man. I will be looking forward to your email.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. You have a good evening.
You too.
All right. I really wanted to keep that call going, but I know it would not be right to keep the rest of y'all on hold. I really did want to keep talking, because that's the kind of stuff I like. That is why the Den is here. Everybody's welcome, whether you agree or disagree. These are the conversations that need to be had. And like I said, there's so much more I wanted to touch on in that call that I just couldn't. I knew it would keep it going. But what's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have on the line this evening? Who do we have calling into the Den this evening?
What's up, Honcho? This your boy Dakota.
Dakota, what's the motherfucking deal, Dakota? What's on your mind, man?
Oh, Honcho. The Democrooks are at it again. The Democrats are at it again. Now, I listened to that entire conversation with that last lady, and she had some valid points. But let me go ahead and destroy the Democrats real quick.
Okay.
Because everybody want to say the Republican Party, oh, it's not for black people. You know who signed legislation to get equal business opportunities in contracting work? You know who did that? Bush. A Republican. You know who instituted the 3-strike rule? Everybody's favorite white boy, Clinton.
Oh, don't tell him that. Don't tell him that.
But no. the Democrats are for us. Democrats do more harm to the black community than I have ever witnessed. It's so funny to me how everybody wants to say, oh, the Democrats is for the black people. No, they're not. They have never been for us and will never be for us. You know who founded the Republican Party?
Who would that be?
Black people, the Moors, the people that built Washington D.C. with mathematics and science. But no, nobody wants to talk about that. Everybody want to say, "Oh, the Democrats are for us." No, and let's go to this coon ass motherfucker Obama. Do you know he signed bills to further exploit African continents? If I walk up to a person and ask them, do you know what coltan is? You know what the answer is? No, what's that? You know what coltan is?
I'm not even familiar with that. Please enlighten me.
Coltan is a mineral that comes out of the Congo of Africa. Without coltan, you have no TVs, no computers, no phones, nothing. You know what Obama did? He signed legislation to put a base right in the heart of the Congo. So if they would have ever rise up and say, no, y'all can't exploit us no more, they have a military advantage to go in there and slaughter those people. But nobody wants to talk about shit like that. So fuck the Democrats, fuck Obama, because he took 70 years of my people being dogs sicked on them, hosed down, spit on by white people, and rolled that shit all into a burrito and gave it to the LGBT community. So that shit kind of pissed me off.
In a burrito. Put some hot sauce in that burrito, baby. Man, that's wild. Oh.
So fuck that coon ass nigga Obama, man. But everybody, now he looked good with his wife. Never had a scandal yet. All that shit look good, but peel back his legislation and you'll find the dirt that further harmed our people. And what our people need to stop doing is looking to the government to solve our issues. We are the 10th highest nation when it comes to money. We spend $2.1 billion a year. A year, Honcho.
But
$2.1 billion a year.
But what are we spending it on, though? Where is that money going?
That money goes to Apple. Everybody got to have the latest iPhone. That money goes to PlayStation. Everybody got to have the latest console. That money goes to Gucci. That money goes to Fendi. People that historically have told you, oh, Michael Kors. Oh, I got to put every song, my girl in Michael Kors, my girl in Red Bottoms this. And he said, and I quote, I don't want no wig-wearing monkeys sporting my product. Who is he talking about? He's talking about my sisters, my wife, my daughters, my mother. That's who that bitch-ass nigga is talking about. But every time you look around, it's a nigga spending money in his store. So, like, don't get... I hate when people say, oh, the Democratic Party is for black people. No, it's not. It ain't never been for black people, and it never will be for black people. It's for everybody else but us. But back to the statement about the coltan. Africa is still the largest continent and largest producer of every mineral that we need. You ever notice America go somewhere, wherever they land, they don't leave? We are the United States of America, or at least I thought. Now it's the United Empire of Earth. So, and I got that shit from Eddie Griffin. Dude's bright. The dude is bright.
Yeah, Eddie be on it. He definitely be on it.
But he got a point. Like, we still over there in Vietnam. Why are we still over there? That nigga Obama said, "Oh, I'm gonna end the war," to people from Pakistan and shipped them to Afghanistan. People thought they loved ones was coming home. No, stop the bullshit, man. Stop it. If people gonna sit there and say, "Oh well, yeah, Obama was the best president we had," look at his policies. He made it legal. He made it because the only people that can declare martial law was on a federal level. The state had to do it. Now the city can do it. But you didn't know that, did you? He signed 148 bills of legislation to basically say, oh, where your cities can basically declare martial law. They can come into your home, confiscate your car, confiscate your money in the name of military advancement. Look it up.
So that was similar to what happened when, because that was under the guys of, who was it, the Boston bomber? Because they pulled a little stunt like that when they was in Boston looking for them. They was running people up out their house. I don't know if you've seen any of those videos that were going around. They was like forcing people out their house while they was looking for him because they didn't know where he was, pulling them out at gunpoint, having people with their hands on their head, all that kind of stuff. So that's actually pretty interesting that you mentioned that. So I wonder if that fell under that whole, that bill there.
I was just going to say, where do you think that came from? Your boy Obama. Yeah, that motherfucker. So as far as he didn't do enough for black people, he didn't do shit for black people. Name one thing he did for us. Don't worry, I'll wait.
Let me see. What about the free phones? Obama phones? That ain't cutting it. I was cracking.
I can go right here down. I can go to T-Mobile and pay $25 and get a phone. Come on, man.
Straight up. I'm telling you, it was bad because I was talking about the other day that the Obama phone lady, she turned on him. She ain't even said she wouldn't even fuck with him on the second term. So that should let you know how that goes. But yeah, and that's my thing. Like again, and that's why I say, man, look, it's not. It's like, look, I get the vibe of pro-black. I talked about this when we talked about some other things, but you can't let a person, just because they have a similar skin tone, they don't get extra leeway, because there's a lot of people who use that same skin tone to play you, because they know that's an advantage. It could be, because you have a certain emotional connection to it or whatever it may be, and they use that to like I say, take advantage of you, to use that to when you have, like, a lot of black people, when it comes to white people, they have a defense mechanism put up. It is what it is. Automatically, I'm defensive about anything they say, about anything they do. What Obama was able to do is bypass that defense mechanism, and any and everything he did was golden. When in reality, he's no different than anybody else.
Exactly. And let me debunk this whole public school thing. Public school has done nothing but harm the black community, and I'm gonna tell you why. Up until 1969, people, high school kids were graduating with trades. The brick masons, the plumbers, the electricians, the I don't know why they classified chimney work as something else. It's still brick, but anyway, whatever. After they assassinated King and Malcolm X, what they did was said, we have to destroy the black power base. They declared the black power base the black family. So they imported cocaine, and this is shit you can look up. I don't speak nothing I can't back up. And then they systematically went into the schools and pulled out every trade that you could graduate with. Everything that was useful. And you know what they started doing? They started they started public schools to house kids until they were old enough to go to prison. And 84.23%. Go look it up. 84.23% of people that is homeschooled gross about $70,000 a year. That's the base. So that whole public school shit, that it ain't for us. And tell me this. Everybody want to say, "Oh, Jesus will help us." If you haven't noticed, I hate fucking Jesus. Fuck that nigga. That nigga on Color People Time. He ain't never coming. That motherfucker, you can tell him to be at a function 30 minutes early because he the nigga that's always late. Anyway, where's the black church in the miseducation of black men? Where's the black church of the unsanctioned killings of the black men? Where's the black church when our daughters are being raped and pillaged? Where is the black church? But everybody want to say, "Oh, God will help us." Man, fuck your God, fuck your Democrat, fuck them all, man, because they are not here for us. They're not. And I want black people to stop that bullshit, man.
Man. So, your thoughts? What is the solution?
The solution to for us to generate wealth and be well off. You ever notice you never hear about Asian killings, like Asians being slaughtered? No Italians, the Mexican community. You know why? Because they have a base. If you kill an Asian company, you have to answer to the Asian community. You ever notice you go anywhere, you see a little China, you see a little Russia, a little Italy, in major American cities.
Absolutely.
But you don't see a little Africa. You don't see black people getting together. But why is that?
But why? And I'm gonna kind of get the nuance on that. I don't see black Americans getting together, but I see actual Africans get together and work together.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. Ghana, Nigeria, and it's another one. I want to say Sierra Leone. All got together and was about to take America to world court on the basis of American black peoples. Nobody backed them in the States. Nobody. Not one black person, not one black leader, not one black pastor. Nobody backed them. And you said something yesterday in the den. You was like, why Africans come over here and talk down to us and shit on us? Because we don't support ourselves. How they tried to help us and nobody got behind them.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. And that's what I'm saying. And like I say, to me, it's so funny because we'll talk about that particular group. And then, like I say, they come over here and thrive. And they really clown on us. Like I said, I found that super, like I said, because I focus on Twitter super. I like people's opinions. I like seeing and reading different things, what people are interested in. And when I came across that thing yesterday, like I say, it's not like I didn't already know, but it really changed my perspective. When they say that Black America, we call it Black Twitter and all that. The Africans call it slave trade Twitter. And when I heard that, I was just like, wow, that really lets you know what they think, because they don't have that same mentality of that we have this self-oppression. We have this mentality we can't thrive, we can't succeed. When I feel like there's a lot of opportunities. Yes, America has its issues, but there's a lot of it that we're doing as people to reinforce that on ourselves. And like I say, when they come over here and they thrive, they succeed, and they advance. I mean, some of them go to the same schools as us, be in the same neighborhoods as us. They don't stay there for long because they may start out in the hood or something, and they work their way up, and because they set a higher standard for themselves, and they look out for that. And that really blew my fucking mind. Like that they really just they don't fuck with us, and so we're mad at other people and other races. But is it a Black American thing that we need to be more concerned with?
And that's exactly what it is. Black Americans need to start looking towards the government to help us. We got to help ourselves. We ain't gonna never go nowhere looking to these elected officials to lie to us, especially the Democrat Party. And I kind of agree with, like, I don't dislike Trump, and I'm on the fence with him. I don't care. I don't care, really. Nothing he does affects me on a general day-to-day life, so it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this: he had a point. What do we have to lose?
Mm-hmm.
We being shot down in the streets like dogs. Why is it every year 20,000 black women come up missing?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same number every year from year to year to year. Why is that? Nobody's looking into that, though. Nobody's wondering what's happening to the black queen. Nobody wants to talk about shit like this. And she did have a point that I wanted to touch on about the black woman being the most hated group in America. That's because the black woman is a trendsetter. She you notice you get a black woman behind anything, that shit take off. And the number one thing they with this LGBT shit, and nobody wants to acknowledge the P, which is for pedophilia. Nobody want to acknowledge that, though. But anyway, they got well, that's my friend. He just being that. That shit took off.
Mm-hmm. That's
Ronda Rousey wore braids in a match. Oh, they're a new craze, the boxer braids. Women been braiding their hair to the scalp for centuries, for eons. So, but you know, they're trendsetters. They're who the world looks to for what's cool, what's not cool. You even notice gay white men imitate the black woman.
Mm-hmm. Why is that? That's a very odd thing. I mean, why is it that it seems like all the gays, the T's, and everybody else in the alphabet that is trying to lean to the feminine side, it seems like they imitate black women. Why is that?
And that's because black women in general, black women have a gland in them that produces semen. It lies dormant over years, and I bring that up to say the black woman is God to a certain extent. Mm-hmm. But the simple fact of the matter is, she was the one that populated Earth. Mm-hmm. But everybody want to credit this blonde hair, white eyed motherfucker sitting in the sky. And first of all, I think Christianity is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. But anyway, I digress. Back to, why they so imitated is because life started with her. Mm. Life will end with her. So every male that's in the world was a female in the womb until we developed that Y chromosome. If you don't believe me, go look it up. Like, everything I say could be backed by science and facts. I deal in facts. I don't deal in fiction. Mm. So, that whole, and she touched on slave mentality. Yes, it's a huge slave mentality, but you're a part of it and you can't even see it. Mm. And then, and then there's a lot of quote unquote woke people who's involved in the slave mentality and can't see it.
Oh yeah.
So, I just had to call in and debunk this whole, the Democrats are for us, because they not. Okay. The Republican Party was founded by black people, and yes, it shied away drastically from the black campaign, but the conservative beliefs that are instituted with the Republican Party, black people found it. If you don't believe me again, go research it. Okay.
Definitely. Very intriguing. Very interesting call. Look, Dakota, you have some advice. This might be my favorite call Dakota had. I think you have stirred up some things on both sides of the aisle, and I love it. Y'all gotta understand. Y'all can say what y'all want to say, but the reason why I love this may be one of my favorite dens ever so far, because of the energy that goes around when you express real, genuine opinions. And that's what we're lacking these days. People feeling free to express how they feel, how they truly think. And and y'all are and free to, express how y'all feel. Like, that's what we need. Instead of people trying to, tuck and tail and make sure everybody's happy, we should be able to speak how we feel freely. And that's what the den is about. Dakota, man, I appreciate your call this evening.
No problem, Honcho, man. You have a good one.
All right, you too, man. Appreciate it. Shout out to Dakota. This should be very interesting. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
Oh, you got Jay Dizzle. Professor Trill is on vacation. Wee. Ooh. Buckle the fuck up. Dakota, I can't do nothing but laugh at you, dog, because you literally called in to say that this lady was all over the place, then proceed to go all over the place. Then you talk about, well, we got all these woke people, and you were walking and woke yourself. Bruh, stop. Look. Again, and I don't know why I've been saying this shit so much this week. People, stop lying to yourself. I don't care if you lie to me, but don't lie to yourself, because y'all actually sound like y'all believe this shit. Y'all can deal with opinion and what y'all call facts, and a lot of it is facts, but you're not looking at it in the right perspective. Everybody keep pointing on when Trump said, well, you ain't got nothing to lose. But let me ask you something. When he said that, what exactly did he mean? He meant, well, the Democrats ain't did shit for you. Okay, true. So what do you got to offer? Well, you ain't got nothing to lose. So if you don't lose anything and the other team wasn't giving you nothing, you still not getting shit. And this is what I need y'all to understand. And you could just use your common sense. All of this is just common sense, what I'm saying. People say that the Democrats don't give a damn about the black people. The Republicans don't either. They don't give a fuck. Here's the deal. How many broke black Republicans do you know?
Barely any, if any.
Why do you think is that? Because the Republicans are about keeping the status quo. That means if you made it through all of this bullshit and you got your money, you want to maintain your shit, which makes perfect logical sense. Now, when you a broke-ass nigga, you expect a fucking handout. That explains the division between black Republicans and black Democrats right there. It's your financial status. Because if you take a broke nigga and he gets some money and realize he wants to keep it, which is rare, all of a sudden he starts to develop and tend to align with Republican ideas. Why? Because he wants to keep the shit going as it already is. It's not that difficult, people. Neither one of them got your best interest at heart. But the Republicans say, look, if you get it, you got it. It's on you. The Democrats saying, well, look, we're going to do this for you, and this for you. Republicans saying, we ain't going to do shit for you. You better do it for your goddamn self. So it depends on what your outlook is. And Mr. Dakota, the last caller, this is what you need to know about. These black women ain't about shit. These black men ain't about shit. When you really want to be truthful about the way or why our people are the way they are, is because niggas don't want shit. Yes, I'm grouping the men and the women together. Ain't about shit. Most of us ain't worth a fuck. Be honest with yourself. Don't sit up here and lie and talk about this black queen shit. Most of them bitches ain't no goddamn queen, bro. How many fucking black queens you meet during your fucking day? It ain't too many. And then you said that somebody said, one of the designers said, I don't want those wig-wearing monkeys wearing my shit. And you start talking about, well, he talking about my wife and daughter. So you sitting up here admitting that your wife and daughter are wig-wearing monkeys? You are what you answer to, my nigga. Stop that bullshit. That don't make sense. You gonna let this motherfucker say some shit? How you know he talking about them? Did he mention them by name? No, but you For some reason, you identified that shit with your wife and your daughter. You ought to be ashamed of your fucking self. Not as a black man, but as a man, period. You got to do better than that. Y'all too goddamn sensitive. Then you want to talk about Obama. Oh, this nigga here. You mentioned this shit about he sent the troops or set up some kind of base camp over in Africa for this precious metal or whatever the fuck it is. Dakota. Fucking America, bro. We've been doing that shit since the inception of this fucking country. Just because it was under Obama, bro, that is the shit that we've been doing. And you said it yourself. Why you think we go over here and never leave? Nigga, because that's what we do. Again, stop fucking lying to yourself, bro. You know what the truth is, but you just want to hate the man for whatever reason you got. Now, if you want to condemn him for not doing shit for black people, I ain't got nothing against you, bro. You absolutely right, because he ain't do shit. But ain't none of them doing shit for niggas anyway. Niggas gotta want to do
Mama
shit for themselves.
335 donated $3.
So how in the fuck
I would
is
have
it?
loved if school went 3 hours longer
I
15
got a
to
headache
25
listening to y'all.
years
And the
ago.
lady before. Ma'am, you and Dakota is the two most cliched people I have ever listened to. You are the cliche Democrat, and he was the
Savage
cliche
Donald
Republican.
Trump donated
Besides
$2
his,
through
Christian
Super Chat.
references. He
Dakota
kind of
lit
went
from
a little
in front
left
of the package
field
store.
with that one. I'm gonna let Broderick handle on that one. I ain't got nothing for him. But ma'am, come on. Yes, black people make up a lot of money as far as it goes. Niggas appreciate nice shit or what they think is valuable, and it's not nothing wrong with the kids and they need to be educated. Because I said that before, but I really started thinking about it. It's not education that the kids need, it's discipline. Because if you get the discipline in line, everything else falls into place. It's not that the kids, well, most of it is not that they don't know what to do. They don't know why they need to know what to do. So I kind of see where you're coming from, but that's not the biggest problem. Kids don't want to do shit.
Correct.
The fucking the teachers is afraid of the parents and the principal. The students ain't afraid of nobody. Now, tell me who them kids are scared of.
Ain't nobody.
Nobody. Why? Because they ain't got no discipline. They have no fear. They're fearless. That could be a good thing, but a lot of times that could be a terrible thing. Because it ain't no reasoning with them. They think they can do whatever the fuck they want. Why? Because y'all tell them, well, you can grow up and be whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. No, the fuck you can't. If you really want to be honest with your kids, and that's why I do agree that they should bring those after-school programs. If you want to do it after school, that's fine. Let these kids learn a trade. All these kids ain't geniuses. As much as y'all try to tell them how smart and pretty they are, there's a bunch of dumb, ugly-ass niggas out here. Stop playing with me. You know your goddamn kid ugly, but just because he came out your nutsack, you want to make him seem like he look good. No, that nigga is ugly. So I'm not saying you should call him ugly, but at least guide him accordingly. If you know that beauty ain't his strong suit, try to get the nigga to be smart. Try to get him to be good at something where he can make some money, to where his ugliness won't be a big detriment to him. You know what that's called? That's called common sense. And people choose not to use it, or they just severely fucking lack it. And why? It's because y'all don't want to be honest with yourselves. Everybody is a bunch of lying, faking ass motherfuckers. All y'all. Me too. I'm just as guilty because I fall into it just like everybody else. But I'm working on it. And I realize when I'm doing it, and I try to stop. But a lot of people, y'all way the fuck out of control. Way the fuck out of control. I'm trying to think of what else I had. I had a bunch of more shit, but I can't remember it now. My fucking head hurt.
What area of the country?
Y'all killing me.
Where you at right now?
I'm in Nebraska, headed to Minnesota.
Okay. So I got a question, and this is completely off topic because you were talking about the kids not being afraid of anything. A video that was posted. I don't know if you saw it in the Facebook group or whatever, but it was a mom, black mom, went to the schoolhouse, and I had caught the short version. I started.
Let me stop you right there. That happened in Beaumont.
Shut the fuck up.
My cousin sent it to me because it happened at her daughter's school.
Big
So yes, I am familiar with that video. So what I would like to know, I want to know your thoughts before I give my spiel, because I'm gonna tell y'all right now, a lot of y'all are not gonna see it the way I see it. So could you please entertain me, Honcho?
So I'm 70-30, and that might even be off because the actions versus the execution is kind of where I'm at. I have no problem with discipline on children. If your kid is acting up, hey, what do they say? Spare the rod, spoil the child. Now, I think, though, my issue was with how she executed. She handled him like a bitch in the street she was trying to fight, or a nigga she wanted to beat up. That's what I didn't care for. She called him a little nigga and doing all that. That to me was a little out of, she couldn't control herself. It almost was a show. Now, I don't like the fact that you recorded and put it on social media, so you got your little lackey behind you kind of recording it. That I don't care for, but otherwise, how do we see it, right? But my thing is, I have no issue with disciplining kids because we talk about it all the time. Now it used to be that parents would discipline their kids, agree with the teacher, and there would be, a unity against, hey, let's get this kid under control. Nowadays, it's the kids have nothing to fear, like you said earlier, because the parents go to school, well, my kid ain't never done nothing wrong, they're angel, this, and this, and they blame it on the teacher. So my issue is I don't have fault with her disciplining him. It's just the physical aspect of it, but the verbal aspect of it. To me, I don't want to say there wasn't a lesson taught, but the way that she addressed him, the way that she talked to the little nigga. Well, I'm calling him little nigga, but talk to the little man. Because I'm thinking about what she said. Like, little nigga, it's gonna be me and you, nigga. And so it's in my mind is what I'm thinking. I'm trying to replay the scene. That was my issue. Whoop his ass. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's the lesson you gonna embarrass him. Hey, look, embarrass him. That's the thing. You ain't gonna never get embarrassed at school. You ain't gonna ever have an issue again. But just the way that she talked to him, I think that's kind of embarrassing in front of the teacher. And the way she almost went off on the teacher. She was so mad, like she had to catch herself. But I just think the way she handled that's the issue. I don't have an issue with her discipline. I don't have an issue with you handling it at the schoolhouse. I do have an issue with the verbiage that she used to address that kid. That's my issue. I think, yeah.
Honcho, This is the second time I've said this. And I mean this slightly disrespectfully. I'm going to be honest. You sound like a fucking female right now.
Nigga, shut up. What's wrong with that? So what's wrong with it? Because here's the difference to me. When I say, because if it was, and I'm going to tell you why I have an issue with it. From a mother's perspective, and had it been a father saying it, I think it's two different kind of things. And you can say it's a double standard, and it is what it is.
Precisely.
But what
keep coming.
But so that's why I have an issue with it, with the way she handled it. A dad has a certain level of expectation and standard. A mother handles things a certain way. So the way that she was talking, it was almost like she was playing that role. But that's why I just found something about it irked me, the way that she handled that. She didn't handle herself like a woman, like a female. She handled herself
No. Why did she do it?
Because ain't no daddy in the vicinity.
Bingo!
But whose fault is that?
I don't know. You can't say it because there's too many variables. Look here. Yeah. Okay, people, if you haven't seen the video, I'm going to slightly break it down to you. Now, a lot of this from me is conjecture because I don't have all the facts, but I'm just going off of what I can visibly see and hear. So I'm making assumptions based off the facts, the only facts that are present. So I'm going to be making assumptions. Yes, you can call them opinions all you want to. That's fine. But these things make logical sense. First of all, I do not. The one thing I had a problem with is she shouldn't have had her homegirl record that shit. That was doing too much. Yeah. But I don't have no problem with anything else she did. Here's the deal. I got into an argument with about 6 of my female cousins about this video. And it's mainly because I'm a dude and they all women, and they will not see it the same way a man sees it. Which is why I said you sounded like a female, Honcho, because they said the exact same thing. If she did too much. The only way I think that she would have done too much if she would have used her hands, fists, or etc. That would have definitely been too much. The first problem they said was he's just a first grader. A first grader does know, or should know at that point, right from wrong. He should know that you cannot be disrespectful to the teacher. Now, I know that that's what the problem was because that's what the mom said. Okay, so don't say I'm just drawing this shit out of nowhere. That's what she said. You are going to respect this lady. Secondly, she told the teacher what she was going to do.
No.
So the teacher knew. Now, whether y'all agree with it or not, that's up for, that's just how you want to do your thing. I'm not knocking it either way. How you want to raise your kids is how you want to raise your kids. Do what you do. But don't let me, you know what, I'll say that. Secondly, I also noticed, no, I'm going to come back to that. I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. When she dragged him out there, she told him what she was going to do. Now, look, I understand. And my cousin say, well, you can't do that. Times have changed. You used to do that. Now you can't do that. Look here. All y'all, hopefully at some point in your life, have witnessed one of those parents that do not play. Now, I'm making an assumption here. She looked just like one of those parents. I'm sorry. She didn't give no fuck.
It was in the eyes.
Okay? She was serious. Okay? That's one. Secondly, the language that you didn't like, how she spoke to him. Do you or do you not know? And everybody in this fucking chat know that women are emotional creatures. So you know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, okay. So now mom has to come to the school to discipline her son. Now, also, if you notice, she was in some scrubs. She had the little name card. I know the shit like this. I'm sorry, I'm meticulous. More than likely, again, I don't know for sure, but more than likely, that teacher called that black mother at work to tell her that her son was in school acting up. Now, each and every one of you motherfuckers know, if your school called your mama on her job and she got to leave her job and come up to that school to deal with you, she gonna be on 10 when she show up.
That's your ass, Mr. Postman.
Y'all all know that. So why y'all think she went too far? I don't understand. The third thing, she's a mom. Now, even if she got a husband or whatever, you don't know. But let's just make the assumption that she's a single mom trying to discipline a boy. We had a whole conversation that a woman cannot raise a boy to be a man. So she's doing the best that she knows how to do to instill discipline in this young male, even though he's a first grader. Women typically aren't the disciplinarians. The men are. And the way that we do discipline is different. Honcho, you said it. You know that if it would have been a man, it would have been handled completely different. That's precisely the point. So what else did you expect her to do to try to instill fear in this young man? Or a child, however you want to call him. She did what she had to do, and that's what single mothers do every day. Y'all have to go out of character sometimes to do what you got to do for your goddamn kids. And they say, well, all that shit she did gonna get them people called on her. Well, look at this. If you a real parent, you would have this ideology. I'd rather them have the people called on me than later on in life the police get called on him.
I agree with that. Make the sacrifice.
So now, exactly. So now, do you see it any differently?
I see your perspective, and I understand, and as emotional as women get and all that other stuff, I just steal something about it later. But again, I get it, making an impression. But my thing with this is, it starts before it ever gets to school. So if you've been doing this stuff prior to, this is not a situation where you have to turn up like this. So again, I don't know her story. I've known a lot of people who may have had kids young and were learning in the process and realized they had to make a change and then trying to do something better. So it could be a lot of things going on with this. I'm not going to condemn her because, like I said, 70%, I'd almost say 75%, I'm with it. I have no issue with the actions. Like I say, in front of the teacher with you little nigga, this, and this, it is what it is. And, I'm going to get with you. Sound like she about to box a bitch outside the club or some shit, because she spilled some drink on the dress or some shit. But outside, I have no issue with the actions behind it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not even tripping.
Now, I'm making an assumption. Again, I'm admitting that. I think those are just scare tactics.
Yeah.
She was doing what she had to do to instill fear. Now, the number one thing, my number one reason, and again, I don't know whether it's true or not, would you look at the whole situation any differently if you knew that little dude was one of them little bad motherfuckers you done ran across every now and then? Hell yeah, you would. You'd be like, you know what? Fuck that little nigga up. Nobody thinks about that. Everybody sees him as a child and automatically assume innocence.
Yeah.
He wasn't innocent. He was guilty as shit. Actions have consequences. If you know, and I'm thinking his mama might have a screw loose. If you know your mama crazy, you gonna go to school and act a fool? For them to call her and her come up there?
Yeah.
You got to be a goddamn fool. You don't have to be in fucking kindergarten to understand that the outcome is not gonna be in your favor.
Yeah.
Again, it's common sense. So, I admit that I'm drawing conclusions, but I can only go off of what I see and what I heard.
Okay. I can't dispute that. But from that perspective, it does make a lot of sense when you put everything else and everything. But again, I think the biggest issue, like I said, the other part of that 20 or so percent is, like you said, with the recording and putting on social media. That's my problem with a lot of parenting these days. Like, stop putting the fucking discipline on social media. Do what you got to do. Handle that shit. It's about that child learning the lesson, not you trying to, go famous off all. And now, again, I don't know if that was just her friend going up there with her. Maybe she had to catch a ride from the friend, and the friend see that her, she overpower level 9,000. You know what I'm saying? And so she just started recording. So she may not have told her to record. People see a situation that's a little abnormal. They automatically cut the phone on, hoping that they get that viral moment. So she may not even told her to do it. I don't know. Like I said, so
that's true.
And so the friend,
she never turned around and talked to the camera.
So like I say, so the friend may be in the wrong.
The whole
for that
time
shit.
they was conversating, she had her back to the lady with the camera, because she again was on 10. Because she was on 10.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree. Okay. So everything else, have you critiqued all the other calls? What are your thoughts? Should kids stay in school the extra 3 hours?
I think it shouldn't be mandatory. It should be voluntary. Look, if you want your child to stay there and you want them to learn something, or if they want to learn and stay there, then that ought to be their fucking choice. They shouldn't be forced to do that. No, I don't agree with that. I think it should be voluntary.
Okay. That's my thing. Like I said, I have no issue with it being voluntary, but if you're trying to force it just to accommodate certain parents who may have an issue going on, I don't think you make that mandatory. To me, it makes no sense, because I think even though you have good intentions, I think you open it up for a lot more long-term problems, because you're talking about having these kids stay at school 10 hours. Let's be realistic. Now, if you work in labor and you're doing other certain things, you used to pulling 10, 12, 14-hour days, but the average person works 8 hours. So if you got these kids, in school 10 hours a day, to me, it's gonna cause more dysfunction than it is going to benefit them. And so that's kind of where my issue lies. You telling me these kids going to school 50 hours a week? I think that's going to be, again, like I said, I ain't tripping if you in that field. It is what it is. We've all done it, so that's not a thing. But it's just for these kids, as they're developing and growing, I don't think that's beneficial. I think that, then again, like I say, with all the shit that the schools are pushing and the agendas they pushing and teaching these days, I want my kids at home as much as possible to not be, basically infected by that way of thinking.
True that, and I want to touch on another thought that I have for Mr. Dakota one more time.
Okay.
You upset about the shit that Obama pushed through. Well, you know what? I should say that truthfully. We're upset about a lot of the shit that Obama put through. Because I'm not mad at that. But why aren't you just as upset at Trump for not correcting that shit? Again, here's the problem I have with Republicans, and I say this all the time. In prepaid, I know you probably on hold, so guess what? You just gonna have to wait, my nigga, just like I did. So you can debunk all this shit the best way you can. Republicans just tell you who to blame and don't want to fix shit. I'm just saying because
hold on, I'm going to cut you. Are you able to see? You on the road, so you're not able to see the chat right now, are you?
No.
I mean,
my phone is on the dashboard charger.
The timing of that last statement you made about prepaid being on hold was impeccable timing. Okay, carry on. Because of the what.
Yeah, prepaid, my nigga. I love prepaid. We disagree about politics like a motherfucker, but that's still my nigga.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gonna argue till the cows come home because he ain't right, and neither am I in his eyes. But that's cool. We can still fuck with each other. We can still have good conversation.
Yeah.
But even you, Honcho, you was talking about, well, Obama didn't do shit for black people. Who the fuck else has?
Yeah, but that's my
Why
thing.
you just picking up one fucking president?
But my thing
None
is,
of them motherfuckers ain't done shit for us.
But that goes into my point is, when do we start doing for ourselves? And to agree with Dakota is we got to stop looking at the government.
Why even point a finger at anyone anyway?
But my thing was because early on, Miss Yolanda was talking about Trump. But she was talking about the Trump presidency, why it's harder for us now. And so I'm like, well, why are we blaming Trump? Because things were going on before that. And so that's kind of why I reverted to that. But yes, I do occasionally revert to Obama and things of that nature. But that's more so to dispel the
occasionally my ass.
To dispel because we think about okay, but do the majority of black folks feel like Obama was the second coming of the Lord and the Savior and all this stuff, even though he didn't really do anything. So that's why I dispel a lot more of when I argue with Obama.
And why is that, Honcho?
Why do people think that?
Can we refer back to what I said earlier? Because niggas ain't shit. They don't know shit, don't want shit. This is what you just keep leaving out the key piece of this shit. You have to consider the source of where this shit is coming from. That is impertinently important. You can sit up here and talk about, well, look at these niggas. They mad because these fucking Republicans went up there and started cleaning up garbage, and now they mad. Who the fuck is these niggas? Who gets mad if somebody clean up your shit and don't charge you?
Niggas.
How much sense does that make? Zero. So that should tell you more about them to tune them the fuck out. Because obviously they have no common sense. It don't make sense. Y'all get so caught up in these talking points that people choose to come with. And every time somebody's on the Democratic side, they say those same little talking points, same little phrases over and over again. Then the Republican calls in. He says the same little phrases, bring up this same situation. And I be damned. That's not a prepaid call that he won't mention Obama not once. That's not a prepaid call where he won't mention the stupid shit the Democrats did not once. But he will never say anything good the Democrats did. He will never say anything bad that the Republicans did. Why is that? Could it be that he's one of those wokey-woke people that he talk about?
Oh, no.
What I'm saying is there's good and bad on both sides. But they all a bunch of fucking liars. Democrats going to make you a bunch of false promises they have no intention on keeping. The Republicans are going to point out the stupidity of the Democrats, while yet when they get in power, they don't do nothing to change it. Or anything that you asking for, and you say, well, I need this, or I want y'all to do this, so I need to hold my representative accountable. How the fuck are you going to do that when you only got two options? If one side is going to lie to you and ain't going to do it, and the other side just ain't going to do it at all, who the fuck are you going to vote for? You only got two options. Independent ain't winning. We all know that because everybody done already picked the fucking side. That's what people do. Just so they can be part of a group, they just going to pick a side and ride with whatever goes. There's not enough free thinkers amongst us. If you in any kind of religion, you are not a free thinker. If you reflect any ideology of a particular party and just completely shits on the other one, you are not a free thinker. Period. There's not enough free thinkers to make sense of all this shit. Everybody makes a few quotes and the shit that's true. Now, I'm not disputing that some of these ain't facts, because they are facts. But it don't tell the whole story. It's only part of the fucking story. And it don't give you the motive behind the statement. It sounds good, but it's really not. That's like, to some people, a blueberry and crack muffin. Sounds delicious. To me, nah, bro, it's got crack in it. I ain't fucking with it.
Yeah, that that might be a bad deal right there.
Yeah, but to some people, it sounds good. I'm just saying, man, people, just think for yourself. Really just take a step back before you jump to a conclusion and just think about the situation. Just look at the facts that you have in front of you and make the best decision possible. But don't get brainwashed by all this bullshit. It's not helping anybody. So I relinquish the rest of my time to Mr. Prepaid Mike, because I know he's been waiting patiently and diligently. So I'm going to go ahead and let him take it home. I know he's not going to agree with everything I say, but it's going to be certain things he's going to have to, you know, he ain't got no choice.
All right. Well, that's a bit. Well, I appreciate the call. Jake Dizzle, since Professor Trill is working the wheel, I appreciate you saying your thoughts, man.
All right, man.
All right. Be safe out there. All right. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
Right on time. You fucking right.
Prepaid, what's on your mind, man? How you feeling about everything? Just this whole den, just Kamala. I mean everything. Just how you feeling, man?
Man, I feel awesome, man. So I'm gonna jump right in and we're gonna get to it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get on Kamala ass first, okay? I'm not surprised one bit that she came up with this bullshit ass legislation. Not surprised one bit. This is the same woman who was putting in legislation to charge parents with truancy if their kids wasn't coming to school. She literally passed legislation to lock up parents because the kids aren't coming to school. Honcho, who misses school, Honcho? Is it Timmy, who got a 2-parent household, has a bus route, and if you don't miss the bus, his parents take him to school? Or is it Tyrell, who mama worked at fucking In-N-Out Burger? He has no father in his life. He's literally 14 years old, and he's raising his other little brothers and shit. He's pretty much the man of the house. Who's missing school?
You know it's Tyrell.
Exactly. Now, for those of y'all who don't understand something, because we kind of touched on the political side of things, let me tell y'all something about Kamala Harris, y'all. Kamala Harris is not a Democrat. For all you niggas in the den who love Democrats, a lot of these people who y'all are cheering and fist pumping along are not Democrats. They run on that platform because that is the easiest way to win. Kamala comes from money. She comes from success. Kamala's grandfather owned slaves. Think about this lineage, y'all. Kamala's father, her father's alive. Her father's father, who she knew vividly, owned slaves. A nigga owned slaves. Black as shit. Think about that. Was from Jamaica. Came here and owned slaves. Do you understand the wealth gap that he was a part of in order to come from Jamaica, acquire wealth, and have enough money to own slaves? Wake up, open your eyes. Kamala Harris legislation gives her absolutely no connection to the Democratic Party. But because you niggas just love Democrats so much, y'all having to open up y'all fucking eyes. You know who else is not a Democrat, who y'all love so much? Hillary Clinton is not a fucking Democrat. Bill Clinton is not a fucking Democrat. They've never been one. But in the spirit of winning, they refuse to lose, and that's why they succeed. That's how this shit works. Who has more money than Hillary Rodham Clinton? I want y'all to go and Google the shit. That's y'all Democrat? That's the one y'all think is finna sign up for legislation that whether she gonna get taxed 70% of her income? Get the fuck out of my face. Anytime, this is the reason why I laugh so hard in the den when y'all say stuff like, why y'all worry about politics is all rigged? Legislation affects our community more than any other community. The 1990 crime bill, y'all, written by Joseph Biden of Delaware, signed by Bill Clinton, y'all favorite president. Remember y'all loved him back in the 90s? Because y'all say he was the first black president because he smoked a little dope. Y'all remember him? When he locked 28 million of our motherfucking ass up. Y'all remember him? And Trill, you said, Jay Dill, Trill, who you want to be tonight? You said one motherfucking thing that you know I'm riding with. Niggas ain't shit. Black men and black women ain't shit. Because y'all the same niggas who celebrate this white man for locking our motherfucking ass up. And Trill said another thing, and it's a 100%. He said Democrats give a fuck about black people and Republicans. He's 1,000% correct. You want to know why? Because I don't give a fuck about niggas. Because until niggas care about themselves, I don't give a fuck about you. The difference is, me as a black Republican, I'm telling you we don't give a fuck. These Democrats keep holding your hand and calling you niggas, and you love that shit. And you love that shit. Let me tell you something. Let me give y'all a little walk down memory lane quick, because some of y'all really need this shit. The war on poverty, Landon B. Johnson's bill, where he took the fathers out the home and told you if you are a single mother and you don't have a father in the home, we're going to give you government assistance. Now, I think Lyndon B. Johnson was a fucking scumbag of the earth, and I think he set back our community 400 years. But you know what? Maybe his intentions were good to help our black mothers. But y'all keep yelling about the slave mentality. Let me tell y'all something about the slave mentality since y'all love to yell about it. Honcho, let me give you the prime example of how food stamps and slave mentality works in a basic way for you. You ever been on the cereal aisle? Yeah. In any grocery store, have you ever been in a cereal aisle?
Yeah.
The cereal aisle is the most beautiful aisle of any aisle in the store. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. It has the most selections. It has the most variety. You can find anything, the most bang for your buck. Anything that your heart desires, you can find it on the cereal aisle. It doesn't matter what type of cereal you like. You're going to find it on the cereal aisle. But what did food stamps tell us? What did food stamps and WIC tell us? There are over 75 boxes of cereal in this aisle. You can have 3. King Vitamin, Kaboom, and that nasty-ass chocolate cereal.
King Vitamin. Oh,
yeah, I'm finna bring it to you, motherfuckers. So the slave mentality, a motherfucker's telling you how much food you can buy, how much food you can eat. We even gonna tell you when you can get your food stamps. And you niggas traded that feeling in for the fact of who we are as people. Black people are naturally conservative. You told me another motherfucking race who more in the church than fucking black people. You niggas get up at 8 o'clock in the morning, go to a hot ass church with no AC, no motherfucking. Some churches don't even have fucking running water. Niggas using outhouses and shit in the South. Y'all niggas were going there. Y'all niggas put on y'all best clothes to go to church. Will not show up. Y'all acknowledge the pastor and his wife. They're the most important people in the world to y'all. Put on y'all best clothes, go in the hot ass church and sweat from 8 o'clock in the morning to 1 and 2 o'clock in the evening. Ain't nobody more conservative than you niggas. But y'all traded that in for some motherfucking food stamps. Bro, when we were freed, bro, do you know that we were the motherfucking, do you know we got all the contracts? We were the motherfucking bricklayers. We were the motherfucking carpenters. We were the one who was the skilled trained handyman. We were the Derrickens. We were the ones. We were the ones. We were the ones. We are the hard work. We were the skilled employees. But you know the crazy part about it was? You niggas traded that shit for some motherfucking food stamps. If we gonna talk about it, let's talk about it. We gonna talk about it, let's talk about it. Y'all keep talking about the Democrats and the parties. You know, the Democrats is for the white people. Bullshit. Slavery, you know who didn't want to abolish slavery? Motherfucking Democrats. Y'all keep yelling about Jim Crow. You know who was a part of Jim Crow? Democrats. You know who the part of redlining? Fucking Democrats. And the parties have never switched. You know what switched? The fucking idea of the media switched. The media told us that Democrats was for black people. How in the fuck is you for black people, but you keep signing legislation and throwing our motherfucking ass in prison? Separating fathers from their families. Y'all niggas care so much about deportation, nigga. They deport us every motherfucking day. San Quentin in California, Angola, Louisiana, Huntsville in Texas, Rikers in New York. Shut the fuck up, man. They been putting our motherfucking ass in prison. Y'all talking about some deportation. If we gonna talk, let's fucking talk about it. I'm ready to get into some motherfucking things around here. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of this shit. And Trill, let me say this. To you, because you said that when you get your money, you become a Republican because you want to protect your money. No. That's not the idea of it, my nigga. The idea of being a Republican and what we stand for ain't got nothing to do with you because you found success. Come hang with us. No, my nigga, we telling that you have always had the free will in order to go do that shit. It's up to you to go take it. You in the freest fucking place in the world, and you niggas are sitting around worried about a fucking handout. You worry about a hand. You let a motherfucker tell you when you can eat. Dog, I bullshit you not, Honcho. If I take a picture right now of my cereal cabinet, you're gonna bust out laughing. All them cereal ain't for my kids. Now, if I want 10 boxes, I'm buying 10 boxes today.
Man, look, the little one be mad at me because I go in school, but she ain't really allowed to eat sweet and sugary shit during the week. But I be having boxes for myself. I be trying not to be a hoe about it, eating in her face. But she come in, well, what's that? Well, how you got that? What's that? Can I ask her? Nah, that's for me. You got to wait till the weekend, because I don't know how to sit in school sugar. So yeah, I feel you.
Because that's the idea of the free will, bro. You gonna decide how many cars I can buy? If I want 5, I'll buy 5 of the motherfuckers. You have the right to do that, man. You have the right to bear arms. You have the right to protect your personal domain and your family. Since when do we trading in for some motherfucking food stamps? I'm riding with a motherfucker who talking about that they gonna take care of me. Okay, I want y'all to explain something to me. If Democrats is for black people, and we've been broke all this motherfucking time, when does it improve? How you for the poor people? If the people you are with, if you're for the poor people, okay, and the poor people are still poor, what the fuck have you done?
That's my question.
Ain't no handouts coming. You wanna know why? Because ain't nobody gonna save niggas, so niggas save niggas.
Exactly.
And niggas don't save niggas, so niggas start being accountable around here. Ma'am, that lady who called before Dakota, I don't know who you are or what website. You need to step Wikipedia, ma'am. Since 1980, black babies aborted 19 million. 19 million. For y'all who don't really keep up with media, the Wall Street Journal is a very liberal media site, okay? It's very favorable to Democrats. It's very favorable to black people. When niggas get shot, they don't really post in the Wall Street Journal. They're going to kind of do a news dump on Friday. So I'm going to read an article from the Wall Street Journal, okay? Because I don't want anybody to think that prepaid is making these numbers up, okay? For the lady who decided to say that white people are aborting their kids more. Here we go. In New York City, okay, what's not in doubt is the outsized toll that abortion is taking on the black population post Roe v. Wade. In New York City, thousands more black babies are aborted than born each year in the city. And the abortion rate amongst black mothers is more than 3 times higher than that of white mothers. According to a city health department report released in May 2012 and 2016, black mothers terminated 1,364 426 pregnancies and gave birth to 127 babies. We aborted 136,000. We gave birth to 118,000. So I'm going to ask you, why are white people fearing us? You niggas is killing your own fucking self. Nobody gotta eradicate us. Y'all the same dumbass niggas who said, man, let me tell you something right now, man, when Nipsey got killed, I think the government did it, man, because he was shining and he was giving niggas hope. Basing the government to go in there and kill Nipsey Hussle with all these hating ass niggas on Crenshaw and Slauson, that's what y'all came up with. Because it made y'all feel good inside. Because it made y'all feel real good inside that the government got to stop us and shut us down. That y'all think the government is up to these they old tricks. Ain't nobody got to kill us, you fucking retards. We kill each other for no fucking reason. Oh, and here's the best part about this whole abortion thing. Black people make up 13% of the population. Y'all ready for this? They say black men make up 6.5 to 7% of the black population. We account for 44% of abortions in America every year. 44%. So whatever little talking points you came up with this whole abortion bullshit, baby girl, you need to get your money back from that shit because they lied to you. And the Wall Street Journal is not one of these websites that's going to look out and try to slander black people. It's literally a libertarian website that's being ran. That's what they put out. So if they're telling you that in New York City they had 136,000 abortions and only 117 that was born, trust me, it's probably way more than 136,000. They definitely run it down for y'all black ass so y'all can feel good about yourselves. See, me, I'm one type of niggas. I'm gonna tell you straight up what it is. I ain't woke and I ain't gonna never be woke. Cause half the shit y'all be coming with, I don't want to hear that shit. And to Dakota, I have number of respect for you, brother. You made a lot of great points. But bro, you fucking lost me. The black woman is the most hated person in America? Since when? Since when they out here marching for black women getting shot and killed? Since when are the most locked up people in America is black women? Because according to all the motherfucking police reports that I've ever seen, we the most hated motherfuckers around here. Black mothers don't have a moniker of being terrible parents. You know who has a moniker of being terrible parents? Black men. But the statistics show that we take care of our kids more than any other fucking race. Honcho, why we ain't never shook that? Bruh? How come we always associate terrible black fathers as not being in their kids' life? Why we ain't never shook that, Honcho?
Seems like
I'm gonna tell you why. Because these quote unquote black women who love us so motherfucking much ain't never got on the front line and said we taking care of our fucking kids. Because we let niggas like Tyler Perry make 18 movies about us beating our fucking wives and leaving our kids. I don't know not one deadbeat daddy that's black. I'm going to say it again. I don't know not one deadbeat daddy that's black. Every low-life nigga I grew up with, every nigga that I've ever came across, every one of my frat brothers, every nigga I played football with, every last one of them niggas take care of their kids. These are facts. But guess what? We are the ones stuck with this. Ain't nobody, bro. When a group of black women walk around white women, they ain't clutching their motherfucking purse and get nervous. I'm going to let's go with a 3-piece suit on. A woman took her purse and grabbed that bitch tight. Don't nobody hate y'all the way they hate us. We let black women. Let me tell you what's going on in America, and I'm gonna tell y'all right now. My wife is black. I come from a black, and I love black women. We let y'all take all the credit, and we take on all the blame. Every time something good going on, y'all just say, get behind a black woman. We be trying to tell y'all. And when shit turns sour, we the niggas to blame and don't nobody come to our fucking defense. How y'all the most hated people? We the ones getting gunned down by the cops. Name a black woman who y'all seen in traffic got killed by a cop. Name them. You show me a crime bill legislation where black women were being targeted. Name it. The Mass Incarceration Bill 1990. You tell me what? You tell me was that a direct correlation to black women or black men?
Definitely black men.
The war on drugs. Who was that? Who was that about, Honcho? Tell me. Who was legislation of war on drugs about?
Definitely black men.
So how the fuck is they so fucking hated? That's our fault, because I'm gonna tell you what's going on, Honcho. You and I both know, just like all the black men in then right now in the chat saying, y'all know motherfucking well we the ones that's hated. But if we come out and say we the ones that hate not black women, you know what y'all gonna say? Well, y'all just hate black women. Y'all must hate y'all black mothers. Anytime we don't agree with y'all, we all of a sudden don't like black women. But who the fuck hate y'all? Who the fuck hating y'all so much? We the ones getting shot. We the ones going to prison. We the ones got the fucked up narrative on us. At least when black women get called ghetto and shit, at least y'all do ghetto shit. Now, let's get on to this woman whooping the shit out of her kid at the school in Beaumont. Oh, let me back up. Let me back up. A lot of y'all not from Texas, and I understand that. So when I speak on public school systems, I'm talking about from my personal and going to school in Texas. We have amazing school systems. All our public school systems are better than our private schools. Because the way we do it is you pay property tax to the school zone that you live in. So, for example, if you live in a affluent neighborhood in Houston and go to a nicer school, your parents pay their taxes there, their property taxes there. It's going to be higher than a lower income home area. Now, even in the lower income areas, we have good schools there. Now, for those of y'all who ain't put two and two together, if you in a state like California and you allow athletics and things that generate money, if you allow these kids to go to private schools, that's who's going to have the best education. See, in Texas, if you look at our football programs, you're going to look at the good schools. So, for example, in football, Katy is a powerhouse. Honcho, what is Katy? One of the best schools.
Yeah. And even when they underestimated, they still one of the best. They wasn't supposed to beat North Shore this year, and they still handled them.
And you know the reason why? Because that is how money is generated. The reason why so many of y'all are so lost and so many of y'all are pointing fingers because y'all don't understand something. In America, the number one indication of anything dealing with success is going to be money. You want to know where the smart motherfucker's coming from? Go follow the money. That's all you got to do. With money, anything is possible. Anything is possible. Now, let's get on to this black woman whooping the fuck out of her son. For all you wokey wokes and you lefties and you pencil necks and you limp wrist motherfuckers, oh my God, she's wrong for whooping her motherfucking kids. No, she wasn't. No, she wasn't. Because as a black man who's raising a black man, either you gonna raise it or the prison system will. She made two problems. She made two big mistakes, and Professor Shrill pointed out to her. You never have to go out here and publicly humiliate your kid by recording that shit. What you recording it for? To post on Instagram and show that you ain't playing around? For what? The second thing she did that was wrong. You want to beat your kid ass at school? You have my blessing. Go tear his ass up. Take him in the bathroom and do that, baby. Yeah. Not because you worry about that white teacher who you whooping that kid, or that Asian teacher, whoever she was, because them kids who seen your son getting his ass beat, he going to go to school with them kids for the rest of his life, for the rest of his time. What, he in first, second grade?
Yeah, I think first grade, I think they said.
For the next 11 years, he going to be the kid that's being made fun of for getting his ass beat in front of everybody. That shit never goes away. That shit never goes away. Number 3. And when I say this, if y'all don't agree with nothing else in this world, y'all need to take this from anything I say. You can hate me, call me a coon, I don't give a fuck. If your son name is Brandon, his name is Brandon. If your daughter name is Michelle, her name's Michelle. Stop calling your kids niggas, motherfuckers, son of a bitch, and bitch. That's not your kid's name. Too many of us talk to our kids like they not shit, and that's why they feel like they not shit. That's why the black kid feel like he's so undervalued, he's so underloved. You gave him a name for a motherfucking reason. I don't have a problem with her grabbing his shirt and tearing his ass up. I don't have a problem with her telling you, that woman ain't got to come out here and teach y'all badass kids. She was 100% correct. Call him by his name. Yeah. He ain't some little nigga. Yeah. He ain't some nigga he ain't like he's some type of bitch. You finna go fight outside the club if shit went wrong or whatever. I give all the credit in the world, bro, because at least the woman's trying. But baby girl, when y'all keep talking about that slave mentality, that's the shit right there that's passed down. That's the shit that's wrong. Not all that fake oppression bullshit. That shit that she did to her son, that shit's wrong. You want to know something? He wasn't even surprised when she called him a nigga. That didn't even break his heart because she talked to that man like that every day. He gonna be a man one day. I got partners who tell me, dog, they didn't even know their real name until they got to high school. They was called motherfuckers and son of a bitch every goddamn day. That shit's wrong. That's wild. I ain't got no problem with her tearing that ass up. By all means, man, look, she should have hit the nigga some more. In my personal opinion, tear his ass up. When my kids yell on that, I'm busting that ass. Quick, too. I don't ever call my kids out their name. They got a first name, and they got a nickname that, mama, daddy, or grandma done gave them. Outside of that, none of that. I ain't cussing my kids. Stop doing that to your kids, bruh. Your son is not a son of a bitch. The whole idea of black women calling their son of a bitch blows my mind. Son of a bitch? Well, I'll be damned.
It explains a lot.
Motherfucker. What? Jeez. Listen, man, ain't nothing wrong with whooping these kids. You know what? Let me scratch that. Ain't nothing wrong with beating these kids. I'm being real with y'all.
Yeah.
He earned that shit. But if you'd have called him by his name, whooped his ass in that bathroom, he'd remember that shit the same way you went out there and publicly humiliated him. He would have never done it again because he remember what that pain felt like. Talk to him and tell him what he's doing embarrassing you. How you got to leave your job, you can lose your job because you got to come out here and whoop his ass because he won't do right at school. Talk to him. You could talk to him before you beat his ass. Talk to him after you beat his ass. But the most consistent thing is beat his ass. I want to be clear on this. Beat his ass because he needs it. But stop talking to your kids like that, bro.
Yeah.
Now, y'all say prepaid Republican. He don't never give no type of solutions. So we can get into some solutions real fast. I ain't gonna hold y'all long. Real quick. Number one solution: stop making fucking excuses for yourself. There is no glass ceiling on you. You can have the worst job in your personal opinion. Honcho, what do you think is a terrible job? Name a place. If you go name a fast food restaurant, name the restaurant. Go ahead and say it.
Shoot, probably Mickey D's.
McDonald's.
Yeah.
Horrible job is viewed as a very low skill job.
Yeah.
Y'all want to know something that's crazy?
What's that?
The district manager makes at least $60,000. Mandated law. McDonald's, $60,000. District manager. You want to hear something cool? If you a loser and you work at McDonald's, your district manager, you make $60,000. Meet you another loser who a district manager. Y'all family income now is $120,000. You know what they push you at? Top 6% Americans' income. Boom. That's the solution. You a loser, work at McDonald's, you're a district manager, find you another loser. It ain't that fucking hard. Y'all come together, get married, y'all make $120,000 a year. Boom. Number two. Stop fucking devaluing each other. Stop fucking devaluing each other. Black people kill each other at an alarming rate that no other race even comes close to. Do you want to know why cops kill us in cold blood the way we do? Because we kill each other in cold blood the way we do. You want to know why cops are so motherfucking scared when they come to the hood? Because niggas who don't live here are scared to come to the motherfucking hood. Niggas who live here are scared to live in the motherfucking hood. They're prisoners in their own motherfucking home. Stop killing each other. Because if you stop killing each other, everybody else will stop killing each other. Honcho, you got any siblings?
No, only sibling I had, she passed away. So I don't know.
I'm sorry to hear that. For anybody in the den who got brothers and they're around your age, what's the number one rule you was taught as a kid? You never go to school and fight your brothers. I never understood this shit. Why? Why we can't fight our brothers? Because if you go to school and your brother beat you up at school, that means everybody in school can beat you up now. If you kill your brother, everybody can kill your brother. If you shooting and killing niggas in your own neighborhood, that means anybody come here can do the same fucking thing. Number three, black men and women, stop fucking having all these kids out of wedlock. If she was fine enough for you to put your dick in her naked head and have a baby with her, she was beautiful enough for you to fucking marry her. And that's black men, that's not black women. That's on us. Number four, get it out your head right now. Ain't nobody finna save you niggas. Not Kamala, not Donald Trump, not motherfucking Hillary Clinton, nobody. The only person who can save a nigga is a nigga. That's it. Ain't no lifeguard. If you jump in that water and can't swim, you will drown. Pull yourself up. Stop looking for these motherfucking government handouts. Number five, stop letting these white fucking liberals tell y'all how to be black and what it means to be black. That's who control y'all motherfucking narrative.
Man. On that point that you're making right there, I want two things I want to address on that. One, because it'll be a white liberal be the first person to call you an Uncle Tom and a coon if you don't follow that protocol that they laid out for you. Because I know y'all seen them Antifa riots and all that shit that was going on. There was a black cop out there. You know, for these people to be so concerned with, you know, equal treatment and all that. First things flying out, you Uncle Tom, you a race trader, you a sellout. It wasn't niggas calling him that. It was everybody else who of any and every other different race. I remember seeing it was I think a black chick that worked with Alex Jones, or whatever, during the Trump Hillary situation is, she was doing something. She was talking to a guy. She was asking him some questions. He didn't like what she was saying. Big fat white dude. Remember, first thing out of his mouth, "Oh, you Uncle Tom. You a race trader. You a coon. You a sellout." And it's like, to me, I just thought, because you always believe one other thing, that it was the other way around. But like I say, a lot of these people are so free with that and so liberal, for lack of a better word, to call you these things if you're not falling in line. You know what I'm saying? So that's the crazy shit. That's the crazy shit with it.
Yes. You know why y'all keep aborting our black babies and keep yelling about, well, I aborted because I have a right as a woman, because a white liberal told you that you have a right as a woman to protect your body and continue protecting your body. That same white woman who said that shit created Planned Parenthood. With her number one goal was to eradicate the black community. She ain't to do nothing else. She ain't to come in here and stab nobody in the stomach. Y'all gonna go and do it yourself. Hey, for any of y'all and for any of you woke niggas and you niggas who love the idea of a woman to take care and control her body, control your body. That's fine. Do it. You can abort all the kids you want to. Free pay, they finna stop you. Honcho finna stop you. Actually, do one thing. The next time you decide to go protest while the motherfucking Planned Parenthood is always on close to MLK. Why that shit ain't never on Johnston Street or Lincoln Lane? Do that. How come every time you go to Planned Parenthood, the motherfucking road tore up and you be like, damn, your car bouncing down like you got hydraulics? How come it ain't never on them smooth ass roads over there in Pecan Acres? Now, so I got so many fucking questions. Answer that question for me. Why every time y'all go to Planned Parenthood, anytime you're around with the motherfuckers, you gotta make sure your car door's locked? Why is always motherfucking people are hanging out outside that motherfucker? It ain't cold outside. Everybody that's around Planned Parenthood got a motherfucking hoodies and the skull caps. All these homeless ass people. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. If abortion's for everybody and y'all swimming now, white women is doing it and Hispanic women is doing it, then why they ain't putting Planned Parenthood in their motherfucking neighborhoods? Tell me. I'm dying to know. Because you motherfuckers don't have no sense of pride in what it is to be black. Let me tell y'all something, and my grandfather said this shit all the time. Black people are the most disenfranchised people in the world. We come from we come from nothing, yet we can prosper. Black people have never had a whole lot of nothing. My grandfather growing up told me he had 2 pairs of shoes his whole life. From the time he was a kid to the time he became an adult, he had 2 pairs of shoes. Showed me a picture of both pairs of shoes. Them motherfuckers was so shiny with shoe polish on, you would never believe it was only 2 pairs of shoes. We took care of anything that we ever had. You niggas don't have no sense of pride in absolutely nothing. In absolutely nothing. Until y'all get back to the point of loving each other, dog. Until y'all get back to the point of loving each other, bro, you ain't gonna never have nothing. Me and Trill disagree on shit every fucking time I call in. And every time me and this man talk on the phone, we respect each other. Everybody call me a coon, bust this man. How that work? The motherfucker that never agree with me ain't never called me out my name. Y'all better wake the fuck up. Because let me tell y'all something I get off this phone. White people don't give a fuck about y'all. Especially successful white people. They don't even give a fuck about broke white people. If they don't care about broke white people, they ain't gonna never care about you niggas. Wake the fuck up. I'm a proud Republican. We don't care about none of them broke niggas. I don't care about none of them broke white people or none of them broke Hispanics. I don't give a fuck about that shit. Everybody in my circle speak the same language. Money. Money. You got anything for me, Honcho?
Man, we just talked about that Harriet thing that was going on. There's another movie coming out. I'm wondering if you're gonna be interested in seeing it. You gonna go check out that Queen and Slim?
What's the name of it?
Queen and Slim.
I've never heard of it. What's that about?
Man, we living in a hot climate. The cops is out here spraying down niggas by the dozens. Apparently, a traffic stop takes place, and a black couple somehow, I guess the black man. From what I saw in the preview, I saw the preview for the first time today. I lost my shit.
The fake Bonnie and Clyde story when they shoot the cop and they on the run.
Yeah, they on the run. Yes, yes. Yeah,
with the nigga from Black Panther.
Yeah, and then the other, he's from England too, because he's been from.
Yeah. I was gonna mention that. Because we love us a high quality nigga that's not from America. We love them niggas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We gonna call him Idris Elba with the fucked up hair. He got the nappy. He the nappy head Idris Elba. What we gonna call him? You niggas love y'all a foreign nigga. All these niggas in the hood who acting shit, and y'all went and found a nigga from motherfucking London.
Exactly.
This nigga impersonating us.
Exactly.
But continue, Honcho.
Yeah, and so again, I saw, like I said, I lost my mind. I think I had to put that on my list of not going to watch this because, I guess they kill a cop and they go on the run. And I found it real interesting that they use the name Queen for whatever reason. And I'm just like, man, if you'll buy it, they will sell it. And again, like now, if you don't, with all of this anger and upset, we talk about the cops killing people, or they, people feel like it's just this wave of shit that's happening. Hollywood just capitalize on it, go make a movie about it, make some more money off your ass, and don't give a fuck about, your plight or what you're going on. But I guarantee, I said that niggas gonna be in line for this movie, like niggas in line right now for Popeyes. And it's gonna be a shame because y'all are continuing to allow them to exploit your asses, but they woke. It's one of them woke things, but it is what it is. Like I said, I find that very. But do you seem to? Are you interested in this movie?
I have to see it. I have to watch it. I wouldn't miss it for the world. There's no way possible. There's no way possible I'm going to miss a movie that's talking about cops killing black people when it's literally proven that cops kill black people only 0.11111% of black population are wrongfully shot and killed. But I gotta go see this shit. Fuck the black on black crime. Fuck the motherfucking heart disease in our community because motherfuckers refuse to eat right. Fuck the diseases, the HIV.
Oh shit! What happened? Uh-oh. They done found us. They finna cancel us. I don't know what happened to the call. It cut out. Well, I was gonna make that the last call, but it was. Look, he said he was giving y'all too much game. You feel me? Look, here's the deal. I'm gonna give it a minute to prepaid. Want to call back in? Want to finish that statement? I'll let him finish that statement. But if not, we're gonna wind it down. A lot to take away from tonight. And I want to hear him finish. That's why I say it just cut out of nowhere. So that's why I say I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was the phone line or whatever and whatnot. But if prepaid, if you're still there, you want to call back in and finish your statement, man, feel free. Like I say, I'll wait a couple of minutes. Give you a chance to call back in. I'm not sure what happened, but and like I said, I was seeing that movie and I'm just like, damn. It's like. Continuously. Now I think with this Harriet film, I think it did lower numbers than they expected. Still think a lot of niggas went to go see it. Okay, there we go. All right, hold on. Prepaid, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, bro. I don't know what happened. I was riding. I was in it.
Okay.
Bro, niggas, we kill 10,000 Michael Browns in the hood every goddamn year. But let's keep up and let's always live for that one time that white cop killed Michael Brown. Do y'all know why that shit holds so much weight to y'all? Do you know the reason why? Every last one of y'all know somebody who got killed in y'all hood. And you know what y'all all said? Man, you heard such and such got killed, man. You know what you say? Damn, man, that's fucked up. Man, you know niggas be wildin'. But hey, bro, you had that Popeye chicken sandwich lately? You tried it out yet? Why is that? How come every time somebody y'all know get killed in the hood, y'all say, damn, man, niggas be wildin'? Shit, bro, you been to Zaxby's, they got a new salad, they got a new sandwich too. But every time a cop kill one of us, man, it's just a travesty, man. You know what? They just been killing us, man. It's just too much, bro. I just can't live like this, man. You got all this animosity and heat for a cop who killed a nigga when y'all know niggas personally in the hood with bodies on them. Ain't gonna say shit. Y'all ain't gonna say shit. Do you know why these cops killing us hold so much weight? Because the liberals told y'all it matters that much. The main people who telling y'all to protest and go out here and tap your own neighborhood because the cops killed somebody, these motherfuckers ain't gonna never get shot by the cops. Elizabeth Warren ain't never feared for her life, ever. From the cops. Never. Kamala Harris has never, and I mean never, ever feared for her life with the cops. Cory Booker has never, ever. Both of Cory Booker parents are IBM executives. I ain't never met a nigga parents who even had a job anywhere close to that. Both of his parents are IBM executives. That nigga only went to private school. Have never, ever been scared of a cop when they get pulled over. But they want you to go tab your neighborhood and go set the motherfucker on fire. Y'all riding for Freddie Gray when he got killed, but all the niggas in your hood got killed, and all y'all did was made a motherfucking funky-ass tie-dye T-shirt, a spray paint face T-shirt, and put a jar out there at the local corner store to raise money. But y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all ain't ready for that conversation. What's the nigga that got? What's the nigga they killed? Hands up, don't shoot.
Was that Mike Brown? Was hands up, don't shoot?
Yeah, that was Mike Brown. Y'all know that wasn't real, right? Y'all know that wasn't this whole he was hands up, he was an innocent person got killed. Y'all know that wasn't true, right? It's literally the forensics literally proved that never happened. He was charged as the cop. He was dead wrong. Cop shot him, and it wasn't in cold blood. But that's not here nor there. Y'all do know that Alton Sterling really had a gun on him when he went for the gun in his pocket, right? Okay, cool. Y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all don't want to talk about that. We don't want to be honest. We want to yell about they killing us in cold blood. And here's the best part y'all keep talking about. Well, if the cop wasn't wrong, then why they paid out the lawsuit to Alton Sterling's family? Dumbass. That's what the insurance covers it for. You know how many people get in a car wreck and they ain't even hurt and the insurance pay for the shit? That's what it's paid for, dummies. Wrongful death is wrongful death. You know what I'm saying? A nigga dead will pay you. That don't mean nobody's guilty of the shit. When y'all get past this idea of riding for everybody who's black just because they black, shit gonna change for y'all as niggas. See me, I ain't riding for everybody black. I seen a nigga in the mall today have a T-shirt on that says I'm pulling for everybody that's black. And I was talking to him. I said, why you pulling for everybody that's black? He go, man, that's how I feel about it. Man, I want everybody black to win. I said, even the niggas that's fucking up. He goes, yeah. I said, even the niggas who robbing the niggas who work hard, niggas come out and rob them. You pulling for them? He goes, I said, what about the niggas who won't take care of their kids? You pulling for them? He got real quiet. I said, what about the niggas who rob old people and beat these old people up and take and kidnap these old people and hold them for ransom? You pulling for them? I said, no. I said, look here, young man. Get you a T-shirt that say, I'm pulling for everybody who want to win. I'm pulling for everybody who doing it the right way. I'm pulling for everybody who actually love black people and stop using black people as a motherfucking human sacrifice. That's who I'm pulling for, young man. He got done talking to me, man. He said, man, I got tears in my eyes. Ain't nobody ever talked to me like that. Nobody ever showed me respect and told me how I was looking at the wrong way. I ain't call him out his name. I ain't say, man, you was wrong. I just gave him a different outlook on the shit. You can love black people without lying about loving them.
Exactly.
And for all you pro-black people, let me tell you something real quick. The next time you in your car and you got a pocket full of money and you see a black person, a homeless person holding a sign and you ride past them, nigga, you don't love black people. You just talk a good game. If you got a pocket full of money and everybody in your circle can't call you for $20 when they're out of gas money, nigga, you don't love black people. You don't even love your own people. Shut the fuck up. You just talking a good game, bro. If you ain't gonna do for your people, man, shut up. See, I'm telling y'all right now so we can be very clear, I don't love all black people. The motherfuckers who Honcho, I got much love for you, my nigga. I got much love for niggas who trying to do something what they sell, but the niggas who ain't trying to do nothing, man, I don't love them niggas, man.
Yeah.
Prepay, man, give them niggas some hope. Or give niggas some advice. Here's some advice. Don't piss in the wind. You always get wet. And if you're somewhere outside, and don't eat yellow snow. Good fucking night.
Shout out to Prepay. Man, I got to take a small Honcho hiatus. Dakota, I'm going to get your call. We're going to wrap it up with Dakota call right after this, man. Give me. That's why I fuck with prepaid, man. And man, I'm telling y'all, there's been some calls, and y'all going to understand why. Give me just a second. Let me change this background real quick. I just want to, let me see real quick. Let me get rid of Kamala ugly ass out there. Man, y'all got to understand something, if nothing at all. You got to appreciate a passionate person, whether you disagree with them, whether you agree with them. You have to appreciate the passion. That's why even earlier when I was discussing with Miss Yolanda from her views, and I really did enjoy that. And like I said, I really hope because of tonight, I want to let y'all know tonight I'm motivated that tomorrow I'm going to be testing out. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna test it out one way, try to see how the conference call, 3-way call feature works on here, because I think that from tonight will stem some very, very interesting discussions. And like I said, I would love to create the opportunity for the conference call, and we all listen in and we all discuss. And so I'm gonna work on that first thing in the morning tomorrow. Maybe we can get that feature on and popping for tomorrow night. But this is tonight the way things have gone. I don't know. We threw the 10-minute rule to the wind. Fuck it. But these are the conversations that need to be had. These are the conversations that, again, there's going to be, because if you notice, there's certain lines where we're all in the same accord, and there's certain lines where some of us kind of go here. We can't see, man. Some of us kind of go here. Some of us kind of keep straight. Some of us in between. Some of us go far right. Some of us bust around and make a fucking U-turn. But to understand how people really feel, you walk past thousands of people every day. Now, some of y'all may be dozens, some of y'all may be hundreds, some of y'all may be thousands, depending on where you may be. Okay, you may be living in a place that only got 1,000. You might be out there fucking cows or something. I don't know where y'all at. But it's good to know how people genuinely think. It's good to know how people genuinely operate. You got to get out of your own mind sometimes, whether it is in agreement or disagreement, because that helps you become a better you. It helps you either fortify your beliefs, it helps you fortify your position and why you feel that way, or it makes you rethink, makes you recalibrate. You take in some new information, some new input, and you say, okay, well, let me think about this. But my biggest thing, and this was kind of, was another thing I was going to talk about tonight. I was going to say I wanted to talk about emotional investments and, rational returns. And what I mean by that is, it's a lot of stuff that people, and I think especially black folks, we put a lot of emotions into, we invest a lot of our emotions into, that we don't get shit back from. You know what I'm saying? That we don't get any benefit back from. And to me, that's something that each individual, I can't tell you what to do. Each individual has to figure that out for themselves, what that may be, what that may not be, you know. And I agree. A lot of us, as soon as you hear certain stuff, and I agree with that, D. That's why I was telling the little one, I was talking to her earlier, I'm just telling her, you know, about, she liked to talk a lot, like to try to interject a lot. And I'm like, look, you don't know nothing to be trying to interject. You need to start, you got one mouth and two ears. You need to start learning how to listen more, you know. And I know your mind is all over the place. And if you ask questions, that's one thing. But she didn't kind of develop this little habit. I don't know if it's the new kids she's around or what, but trying to, you know, interject and dispute stuff and not having any information to dispute stuff, you know, trying to make, well, I feel or I think. It was like, you don't know nothing, be quiet. But to learn, ask questions, I have no problem with you asking questions. But when you're in here saying crazy stuff, then that's when we have a problem. And I know Dakota said you want to call. You might, I don't know if you're still on hold because it's not showing up. You might have to call back. But like I said, I'll take your call, Dakota. I got you. But sometimes it's good to just listen and hear and then understand. And you ain't got to accept. You can listen to something and you don't have to accept it. I'm telling you, I've listened to some shit in my life. I've listened to shit. Man Cave, man, if you just slide through, man, you missed a good one, Man Cave, man. It's definitely one you got to, definitely one. We may have to make this a two-parter, but I don't know. I may have to figure out the topic tomorrow or something. I mean, there's a lot of good points, and I'm sure there's some people who would like to get in and say some things. I'm about to get ready to wind it down, but I know Mr. Dakota said he had wanted to conclude with something to be able to rebut his statements. I think this is him right here. Let's see. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Oh, Honcho, it's me, Dakota, again.
Prepaid Mike
Mr.
donated
Prepaid,
$25.
I'm a dude.
A
I
lot
get
of
a little
y'all mad at
emotional.
me
My
tonight.
voice goes high pitched.
But remember,
So,
win, lose, or draw, I'm going to wake up in the morning
I'm trying
and
to
be
stay
well off
calm as
smiley
I can
face.
because I don't disagree with
I
nothing.
win because I refuse to lose.
Mr. Prepaid said he hit every fucking point, nail peg, game, set, match. The only thing I disagree with Mr. J Dizzle, and I love him. I like those are two brothers I would really want to dialogue with on my own time.
Yeah.
But the only thing that Mr. J Dizzle said that I just absolutely cannot get behind is why didn't Michael Kors offend you, bro? For the simple fact of the matter is, you got to look at it like this. Nobody is out here fighting for our black women. Nobody. You got these hoe-ass rappers, oh, all I want to do is fuck these bitches, fuck these hoes, these, this, and that. And they only want to show you the women that's on shaking their ass, twerking and doing all that. But that ain't, black women is the highest educated woman in America. But nobody talks about that. Nobody. So I go hard for my black sisters, and I do agree with one thing he did. I take that back. I got to eat some crow. I do agree with one thing he said about black women. All of them ain't queens.
Correct.
And I fully agree with him. But whose fault is that? Black fucking men. And I'm going to tell you why it's their fault. Because, yes, they locked us up behind drugs. But, nigga, nobody told you to go pick up that rock and sell it. Go flip a burger, nigga. I will gladly flip a burger for my kids, for my wife to have a roof over their head. I'll be in. You'll see me in Burger King every fucking day, bagging fries, flipping burgers. Nigga, I'll get it.
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Ain't no shame in that. There ain't no shame in that at all.
Because if I'm not there to guide them, who am I? What kind of man am I? That shit should have offended you because black women take the time out to raise your ass. They take the time out to love you despite of, and you turn around and call them, oh, all bitches the same. And let me drop some knowledge on you real quick. Most black women suffer from biological earthquakes. Do you know what that is?
No, I've heard of that.
So since the Earth is on the axis, we lean to more side one. So you use one eye, you use one leg more than you do the other. Well, that causes a woman's uterus to shift. Now, what you don't know is biological warfare is the attack on the people before they know they're in a war. That's why the chicken spot down the street is open 24 fucking hours. That's why Whole Foods got everything jacked up fucking. You ever wanted to buy water out of Whole Foods? That shit like $12. But you can go right here to the chicken spot that's open 24 hours, get you a 99p. I mean, 10p for 99 cents or some shit like that. They destroy us before we even know we in a war. That's called the art of war. But back to the biological earthquake. A woman uterus shifts. So because she doesn't squat enough, because she doesn't exercise enough, because she doesn't walk and whatever, she gets headaches. So she eats a lot of copper-rich foods, which intensifies those headaches. Now you cheating on your wife, and it's a proven fact that men, when you hear the term, "Oh, I'm getting brain," actually it's the man that gives the woman a brain. You give the woman brain when you nut in her, because when you nut in her, that's why you and your wife tend to look alike over time, because you are literally rewriting her DNA. You don't believe me? Go look it up. Back to what I was saying. They suffer from biological earthquake. Now, you didn't have sex with this woman. You didn't have sex with this woman. Well, now you didn't have sex with every dude that woman has had sex with. Now, your personality is not only in this woman, but it's in your wife. That's how a woman knows when her man is cheating, because they start to think alike. If you don't believe me, go look it up. These are facts. These are facts. Oh, and Dakota Jones has left the building. You are now talking to young Josh Simba Ali.
Okay.
And I got a debate coming up, and I'll drop that in the den. Again, I love them brothers, bro. Like, they drop some knowledge. But let me go back to dropping my knowledge. So they suffer from biological earthquakes. They eating copper-rich foods, which intensifies the period, the blood count. So now they got headaches, and it's hurting. It's hurting. Then they come home to a nigga that's sitting down playing Madden all day, choosing to sell drugs and to get out there and work for his family. Now she got to deal with this shit, so the headache intensifies. Now you think this woman is bugged the fuck out when she is literally suffering from a genetic thing that you have caused, and just because she woke up has been caused. Now you think she crazy as fuck and all bitches ain't shit. But you don't know that they have been attacking your woman from jump. That's why I go hard for my black women, because they don't know this stuff. We have to educate them.
I can agree with that. I agree with that. I think it is a man's job to educate his woman. I don't think a lot of us take that seriously. I know when I was young, I definitely did not appreciate, I did not do my part. It took me, going through some things to make some realizations, to improve. And then, it got to a point where, life took its course, and it is what it is. But I definitely agree with you on that one, man, as far as like that's part of the problem. But I think that it also boils down to, though, what a lot of us not appreciating ourselves. And I think that's where it spreads across the whole community, because when you don't appreciate yourself, when you don't have value in yourself, you don't value anything else. You can't see the value in anything else. So that's why you don't see the value. Like when Prepaid talking about we killing our own brother, you can't see the value in that. When you mistreating your own sister, bitches ain't shit, like you said, we don't see the value in that. We don't see the value in life and the opportunities that life provides through many of these experiences, because we don't see it in ourselves. That's kind of where I see it. And I think that a lot of that comes with certain beliefs when they say that, you can't do this because of this, or you can't do this because of that. That's why I lean a certain way, because I'm more about empowering. You can do anything. It's not going to be easy. It's going to take some effort to accomplish it. But I think when you go through those things and you overcome and you achieve, you start to see more value in yourself. That's why I'm against certain shit with, like I say, with all the handouts and stuff. Because when you just giving somebody, like you say, you can eat this at this point in time, and you limit that, people buy into that limited mentality. Of course, you'll never see value in yourself. You value the material. You value the Jordans, the gold chains, the other bullshit that feels like it makes you something. And then it trans over to the the women too, who don't value. They don't want a man who's going to uplift them to the next. They want a man who's going to put them in some nice purses and do this, do that, and the third. It ain't about the family. It ain't about none of that other shit. It's just, again, what can I get out of it? What can I gain from my personal appearance more than anything else? Because it's not about anything internal. And so I think that we all got a lot of shit to work on. But the perspective that you provided when you talked about you said biological earthquakes?
Yeah,
Okay.
biological earthquakes. Go look it up. A woman uterus will shift and it will cause her to have headaches. And because she doesn't stay away from mushrooms, almonds, and anything else that's high in copper, it intensifies that shit. And now she's just having headaches and don't know why. And then she goes to the chicken spot, get food that ain't healthy for us. Salt intakes increase. That increases more blood on the period. Now she bugging the fuck out. And then you transfer 4 other personalities to her. So now she bugging the fuck out. She got your personality, hers, and sprinkled in with 10 other motherfuckers, and she don't know why. But now you think every woman ain't shit and all bitches are crazy when that's not the case. And it's black men that destroyed the black woman. That's why women are under attack. That's why I go hard for my wife. That's why I go hard for my mother, my sister, my aunts, my nieces. That's why I go hard for them. Don't sit here and disrespect the black woman like she not under attack. Like they didn't kill Sandra Bland. Like they didn't kill that. Pump that lady full of lead in Beaumont, and she had a known mental disorder. Known mental disorder. So don't sit here and say, oh, black men are just under attack. Yeah, we under attack. But our black women are under attack too. Stop downplaying the role of a black woman. Stop it.
But do you think that we promote or we gravitate towards a lot of the wrong black women? Because there's a lot of good black women out here that are doing, the right thing, trying to do the right thing. And then you have
we do, Honcho, because you see the light skinned sister with the fat ass, the big titties. Oh, she on Instagram showing her ass. That's the nigga everybody wants, just to stunt. You don't want that black woman that's pulling down 6 figures who's willing to sit your ass down and teach you something. You don't want her.
Yeah, like I say, it's definitely an affinity for the voluptuous. And yes, but again, like I say, it's a problem because a lot of it too is when you think with your dickhead first, you're not thinking about bringing something to the table. Again, you're not thinking long term. A lot of us are short term thinkers in every aspect of our lives. And that's a problem. What can we get right now? What can we benefit right now? I'm trying to fuck right now. I'm not thinking long term. What, do I bring into this woman's life? How do I improve this person? How does she improve me? I think there's a lot of issues across the board as a whole. Like I said, it's just so much. But this is why I'm kind of that same mentality. I almost have a separatist mentality because some people just ain't gonna get with the program. Some people they are all the way bought into the bullshit. They don't want to hear nothing you're talking about. They don't want to hear anything that is for improvement. They with the nigga shit. They want to do all. They want to reside in niggerdom. You can call it the nigger king, whatever you want to. They want to reside in just the bullshit. They happy with that. But then you have those who want more, don't know how to get there. Those who are actually out there fighting and striving for more. Those who have gotten more. And the thing about it is, I think those people who have gotten more than willing to share the information. Nobody's hiding it. Everybody swears about we're hiding it, and they're hoarding all the information. Nobody's doing that. The information you want is available. It's if you're really looking for it, it's there for you to find. You know what I'm saying? But I think part of it though is being selective. I think like Prepe said earlier, we got to stop promoting all the fucking, Nicki Minaj's and the strippers and all this other mentality. And start looking more for the women who are, like you said, that are doing something for themselves. I would say Michelle Obama, but Michelle, and again, she's been successful. She, college educated and everything, so I'm not going to knock her. But she said something that bothered me that I thought was a bad look a while back. Because they asked her if she could be anybody else, who would she want to be? And this motherfucker said Beyonce. And that upset me. The fact that you are probably the most respected woman in this position and in the world at this time, or whatever you want to call it, especially black women, and then you want to be an entertainer, and that bothers me because that's already a problem I think a lot of us have. We all want to be athletes and entertainers and all that other shit, but I think we have to start looking towards more towards that. And I've even seen some of these educators, like you said, black women are getting more educated as far as the demographic, but I see a lot of them wanting to be these other motherfuckers, and again, like I say, it's a point where you have to separate yourself from the nonsense, and that's kind of where I'm at now. Like, and it's tough to know who is with what, and who is for you, and who is against you. But that's just kind of my beliefs. But like I said, I can't disagree with you.
And one more point I want to touch on. Prepaid said we got to stop making babies with these women, and then want to turn around and call them bitches and hoes and they ain't shit. If you loved her enough to stick your dick in her, you loved her enough to marry her. Now, my situation, I suffer from it too, because I got 4 kids, not by my wife. By one woman, though. 2 of them are, the 2 boys aren't mine, but I love them like they are because they need that male presence in their life. They daddies ain't shit, they locked up.
Yeah.
So I took responsibility for them. And my baby mama, she a little out there. I ain't gonna get on here and bash her and disrespect her because that's not how I roll. But I will say this: we as black men have to come to the aid and defense of our women, because if we don't, we are going to lose them. And you know that it just kind of made me. It kind of touched me like in a real sensitive place because I have sickle cell anemia. I told you that. I get up. I'm an electrician by trade. I get up and I go to work. I command $22 an hour. That's how good I am at my job, man. And I'm still an apprentice. Been doing this 6 years, and I'm working on my journeyman. But that's beside the point. Yeah. But it was a black mother that instilled that work ethic in me. Nigga, push through the pain. Get up, get your ass up, and go to work. So when you take a brush and you broad stroke every black woman by calling them wig wearing monkeys, nigga, you should have took offense to that. And I'm sorry, you not a nigga. You my brother, Mr. J Dizzle. You my brother. So with that being said, I would love to dialogue with those brothers, Mr. Prefade and Mr. J Dizzle. But with that being said, I end all debates like this. I'm 5'5", 135 pounds. They never ran from a fight, won't start. My mama always told me I was too stupid, too little to fight, too stupid to run. So when you see young Jai Ali, just know I'm running to the fight for my black women.
All right, I respect it, man. Let me know about that debate, because I would love to get some information on that. Maybe we can see what happened, what we can do with that.
All right, cool.
All right, man. I appreciate that. Man, shout out to Dakota, man. We're gonna wind it up on that because, like I say, we definitely went a little longer than I thought. We're gonna have to definitely do like a part 2 or something to this. There's a lot of interesting things that took place tonight. A lot of conversations that happened tonight. A lot of great conversations. I know y'all 10-minute rule, why don't y'all, man, this was too good for a 10-minute rule. Sometimes it be like that. Sometimes conversations are too good for the 10-minute rule. And I think so many things were touched on this evening that definitely need to continue. Ronald, I don't know about how long you was on hold, because you be saying you be here for early bird pistachios, and you be talking about I go ahead and check your timestamps. I don't see them. You know, I gotta go look at my call history and see. But you know what? Even though this conversation did kind of take a turn in a different direction, aside from, because it started from talking about politics and a lot of things, and then I think it started with the Kamala situation, and then it kind of expanded. Because Miss Yolanda's call brought up a lot of other things, and then I think we got real in depth, and that's what's the beauty of conversation, is just how it can progress, what it leads to. What I think is we had a lot of good calls from the fellas this evening. A lot of the men called in and expressed great points, and touched on a lot of things. We're going to continue this conversation. Again, like I said, I'll make sure I address it properly. It'll be a different title, but we'll probably continue this conversation tomorrow because there was a lot of good stuff that was said. But I would like to hear from the women folk, the women of the den, the lady den folk. So those of you who have listened, those of you who have stayed, put and listen, and if you didn't hear, definitely go back and check that out. And when are the morning dens coming back? Woo! That's a good question. That's a good question. I don't know. Like I said, it may be some time before they do. Some things have to pan out. Because during the day is when I do all my shenaniganery. That's why I haven't been as consistent dropping, like say recordings. And I know some of the folks in the South's been getting on my ass. But, you know, because you got to think morning dens plus the evening den, even though I'll be telling y'all we only going to do 2 hours. And shit, that end up being 3 hours each, being 6 hours out the day, and then trying to squeeze, you know, some other stuff. I've been thinking about it because morning dens were very interesting too. You know, and I like to be very frank and pretty honest with y'all. Like, I love the den. The den is just a whole different level of conversation. Like, I enjoy soft sports because I think it's something different that the city needs, and just providing a real thing. And I think that not that I think, I know, because I intend to take soft sports to the next level, be a trendsetter. There's so much more to go with that. But there's something different that I enjoy about the den because it allows those conversations that need to happen, that need to be addressed. Because all you get from the big media is the bullshit, you know. Like I say, that people have come together in the den in a different way. Like soft sports, cool. You know, we have conversations, we text fans, but the den has brought people together who may have never interacted, who may have never ever known each other, but being able to genuinely express yourself. Like some of y'all in the den, I feel like I've known them forever. I ain't never met any of y'all. And to have a feeling like that is an amazing, and that's what we need. We need more of those genuine connections. So much in the media, so much in the world as to tear us apart, separate us. Or they tell you, don't talk about this, don't talk about this, don't talk about this. But why don't they want you to talk about those things? Because it may actually bring you closer than it will separate. They say, oh, you can't talk about it because it causes tension and problems. But maybe they're the tension, maybe they're the problems. Because I think when you can talk honestly and openly and, you know, with no intentions of offending, people are going to get offended no matter what. I just think it's a beautiful thing. Because there's so much more diversity, so many more different topics that you can cover in the den, as opposed to soft sports is H-Town, and until these motherfuckers win another goddamn championship, goddamn Astros. Sometimes those conversations can be pretty tough, but, you know, it is what it is. But with that being said, man, I'm finna catch me some rest here. If we said I would be cool in the spirit, I already know. Look, I'll hold down the coon train. But my thing is, like I said, is definitely I gotta get my ass up. I'm gonna go power walk, run, jog. I think I'm gonna do more jogging tomorrow. Look, until I gotta get under about down back to about 250, 245 before I start really trying to run it out. Look, these knees gonna be then tapped out. But so with that being said, man, I like the new look. I like the new look. I see them change the logo up. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, man, it is an honor, a privilege, a pleasure. Whether y'all agree with the conversation or don't agree with the conversation, it's about honesty. It's about being open. The people must be heard, man. Chugging up the deuce. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. But most of all, look, y'all ain't gotta go. It's late. Y'all should be at home. Y'all ain't gotta go home, man. But look, Jack, y'all got to get the fuck up out of here. And the rest of y'all, let me know. Text me. And like I said, if y'all are okay, and like I said, we'll try to put some other connections together, because I know, like I said, it's a lot of interesting conversations from these gentlemen, and there's definitely some things we need to discuss. And that's why I say I think the den can take certain things to another level also. But I'm out, man. Until tomorrow.